Hi there everyone, welcome along to another YouTube Monday night Jenny Monday Club, and today with me I've got a special guest, so you'll see hopefully in a window on the screen and hopefully be able to hear them. I've got Alex Crompton, although they're on YouTube as Alex Faxton, spelled Faxton, and this is where it gets really complicated because your website is www.faxlee.com. Oh, that's a lot more helpful there, sticking that up on screen. But today, what we're actually going to be talking about, today's theme, is supporting local model shops. And it's one of the things that, whilst I've been out and about on my travels, actually, I was in Hull the other day, and I called in at 53A Models in Hull. I don't know, is that one, have you ever been to 53A Models in Hull?
No, I've never been to Hull. The furthest I got was the service station just outside Hull for a model steam engine boiler, a 7.25 inch gauge model steam engine boiler. That's the furthest I've been to Hull.
Right, so you have not been to Hull and back?
No.
Oh wow! Well, there's if you do go into Hull to Hessel, there's a model shop called 53A Models. And I used to go there when I was quite young. My grandmother lived in the village Cottingham. So my dad and I used to sneak out there and go and buy model trains. But it was actually quite fun to actually go back there to the model shop. And it's just like I remember it. You go in, it's like a time warp. It's even got the same stuff in the window that I remember from when I'm a kid. It looks really faded now. But I'm just looking at, we're getting quite a few people coming in on the live stream. We've got Ned's Train says hello, 57305 Northern Princess. Hi Jenny, evening all. Wistaston Junction, hi to you. New Mills Model Railway, good evening. Glad to see you're feeling better. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was quite ill last week. Les Kirk, that's actually my dad, or is somebody pretending to be my dad? It's like, Dad, have you been hacked again? Patrick Ling, hi Jenny, hope you're feeling better. Thanks, I am, yes. Derek Grant, hi all, hi to you. Model Railroad Techniques, hello to you. Zach Farmer says, hi Auntie Jenny, it's Zach. That's my little nephew, Zach. Oh, he's not that little anymore, he's in secondary school now. Good to see you, Zach. Chris Whittingham, hi all, looking better Jenny, thank you. Darren Holt, hello beautiful Jenny. Oh, you little smoothie. FMR Station House, good evening to you. Les Kurt, that's my dad, I think, or at least it's somebody with the same name as my dad. Hello to you, Dad. Adams Railway, evening to you. J. Paul Anderson, hi Jen and company. Gosh, these comments, I don't know, Alex, can you see the comments at all? Have you got the chat up?
I need to take a look. Let's take a look.
Probably best to get in the chat room, and then you can read the. You're not beholden to me reading them out. Oh my god! Actually, apparently it is somebody pretending to be my dad. It's my other nephew who presumably doesn't have his own YouTube account. So we've got Zach and Max in, but Max is pretending to be my dad. Right. There's loads of comments coming in, but yeah, as we were saying before,
I can see the comments now.
You got
hello everyone.
Well, this is anybody who's just joined. This is Alex Crompton, and is it Faxley Models or Faxton Models?
It's just faxley.com.
Excellent, right? And you're an approved Accurascale stockist, aren't you? Accurascale official stockist. So when you go on the Accurascale website, and it has all the little pins, one of those pins is you.
It's Wolfdale Studios Limited. That's our official company name.
Right. So do you stock any other manufacturers?
We've got some Oxford Rail stuff as well. So a little bit of Oxford Rail stuff, but it's mainly just Accurascale at the moment.
Right.
We're specialising in.
No worries.
We're buying big chunks of stock, and then we've got it ready to go.
Right. So basically you've cornered the market. If anybody's going, oh, they've sold out of X, Y, and Z already, it's because basically it's stuck in your stock room.
Yes.
So
but we do offer them at lower prices than what Accurascale offers. So some are the same price, high demand items are slightly more to stop them all selling out too quickly. And then, but if you're after a good price, certainly on the new wagons coming out. We are selling some of the PFA wagons at a lower price, so £5 off on some of the items.
Brilliant. And if people want to get them, they need to go to your website at www.faxley.com, isn't it? Yeah, you're well prepared here. But I mean, the main reason that I thought it'd be a great opportunity to get you on, Alex, is we're talking about supporting smaller model shops. So, it's interesting. Oh, hold on, I'm being passed things. The Cupboard Monkey.
I tried to tell people on your various Facebook groups that you're on. I'm going to pop the shop. Do you need any drinks?
Any drinks? Ooh, drinks. See, this is the thing, Alex. If you'd have been here in person, you'd have got fed and watered as well by the Cupboard Monkey. So I
know it was just with the timing. It was just a little bit too soon to jump in the car and scoot off. So
yeah, I know. I was very last minute, unfortunately. I'm always very last minute.
She's not organised at all.
Well, no. Les Cliff, unfortunately, was unable to make it. I booked Les Cliff in last week, and he told me. I think it was first thing this morning, or maybe I think it might have been last thing last night, that he couldn't make it.
But don't worry, I'm here to give you a hand.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know whether people can see that, actually. I'm not sure whether I'm on screen for everybody in general.
Yeah, you're in the bottom left of the screen.
Is that what everybody sees?
That's what
then?
everyone sees. Hello.
Right. You can tell. Go on, be gone, Cupboard Monkey.
Do you want anything from the shop?
Yeah, I'll have Coke of some description.
Okay.
So right.
Bye bye.
So sorry. I'm really sorry about this, Alex. No, she's really excited. She's been on Pepsi Max.
Oh no!
I know, but Pepsi Max. It does send me loopy as well. Flymo Chairman 1 says 87 watching and only 10 likes so far. So I think that what we need is everybody to hit that like button, and let's get that up so it's an even mix.
Like button.
Smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Evening my ducks, says Mark Wilson. I always feel compelled to read out those comments in a Sutton Ashfield accent. So evening my ducks, keep bobbing ducks. FMR Station House, hiya Rachel. Flymo Chairman 1, hi Zoe. I Like Transport says hi. Flymo Chairman 1, hello Les, and fellow Monday Club gang. We haven't got Les on. Leslie Gilpin, wow, the finger usurped by a hand. Yes, the hand of ultimate power. Yes. But what I really wanted to ask people about is, come on Alex, come on, behave yourself. What I really wanted to ask people about is local model shops. Whose model shops do you tend to go to? Let's big up the local model shops that you guys out there really do think deserve a bit more love, a bit more advertisement. Mark Wilson asks, who's today's guest? We've got Alex Crompton on, and you've got your own YouTube. This is where it gets complicated. Your YouTube is Alex Faxton, spelled Faxton, and it's actually because you've got it's about 2,200, 2,500 subscribers, something like that, is it?
Yeah, about 2,820.
Right. So right, so it's bigger than I thought. Well, maybe you could, if you watch your subscriber count button, you might get quite a few subscribers turn up. So everybody wants to subscribe to our YouTube guest today, Alex Faxton on YouTube. Actually, Alex Crompton. So I Like Transport says I like barn hobbies in Abereron. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's not one I'm familiar with. Cottismore says my local model shop is Hatton's, but I thought you lived in Lee. Was it Lee or Wigan Way? In which case there are a few model shops around Wigan and Lee Way. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to. This is not the be all and end all. Going to the Bachman website. I'm going to look at the Bachman stockists. because the big elephant in the room is Hatton's is no longer listed here. So I'm going to information. I did find this a moment ago. Where is stockists? I can't find the stockist thing. I did find it before. This is what happens when you spend all your time trying to get hardware to work. I'm trying to think of the best way that UK model shops. I'm gonna have to go to do a bit of Google foo for this. UK Model Shops, incidentally, is quite a good website which lists pretty much everything. UK Model Shops. So what I'm going to try and do is UK Model Shop directory. So let's go and have a look. Model shops by county. So bish bash bosh, we want Greater Manchester. I'm convinced. So not at Cottesmore, none that I use anyway. Hatton's offer me perfect service 5 minutes from my house. I know what you mean. Hatton's are actually pretty good, but we've got Sawyer models in Lee and JPL models in Tildesley. I've not actually been to either of these. I don't know, Alex, have you been to any in this area?
Ooh, I'm not sure about that one. I don't think I've been to those. No, I don't think I've been to those ones.
I know Sawyer Models, I believe, do a lot of shows. So I'm sure I bought stuff from Sawyer Models, but only ever at shows. But I'm looking there as well, actually, on that list. We've got the Loco Shed Limited in Manchester. I have actually been there. That is technically one of my closest model shops, but I've not been there for a while. You're based over near Blackpool, isn't it? So you'll have Tower Models, I'm guessing, is your local model shop, and Transport Models in Preston.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Those are the ones.
So what's your preference? I mean, do you tend to use a lot of the local model shops, or do you prefer to buy everything online?
I buy everything online a lot of the time.
Oh, slapped wrist. That's naughty. Support your local model shop. We've got Leslie Gilpin says the Blenavon shop is friendly if you want 00. I could buy track there. That's the Pontypool and Blenavon Railway, I believe. So let's go and find that. It's been mentioned. So what county is that in? Actually, we'll go by name. Let's just look up by name. Gosh, I'm desperately not organised here, and for some reason, oh come on, silly website. The website's crashed. So I don't know why, but it's not letting me click on the model shops button. Why is it doing that?
Why is it not letting you do that? That's crazy.
Yeah, and there, finally got it back. Model shops by name. This is, unfortunately, anybody who's in a techie sort of industry will know only too well. There's an awful lot of badly coded websites out there. Right, anyway. There's 53A models listed. Where we're going for the Blenavon Railway. Where are we now? Oh, for some reason it just ends there. Why is it not? Where's B? We're not having... Oh, there it is. Oh, B. Blenavon. Blenavon. I'll be Pontypool and Blenavon. Oh, Matador websites. You know, the ones that suddenly move just as you're about to click on something.
Oh, no.
I call them Matador websites.
Ooh.
I can't find the Pontypool and Blenavon website. Yeah, Leslie Gilpin, I'm trying under P, but they're just not there. In fact, I'm seeing a few here which I believe may have shut down, so this list may be slightly out of date. John Tipper says, unfortunately, Tennant's trains are no longer stocking Hornby items as they are no longer allowed to discount the new items more than 10%. Now, I know that this has been a bit of a thing, and it's a double-edged sword. The discounting thing, I think a lot of people say, why are they limiting the discount when models first come out? I know Bachmann definitely do this, and it sounds like Hornby are doing this as well. But what you have to remember is that in a way, this is helping the smaller model shop, because the bigger businesses, the likes of your Rails, your Invicta Models, Kernow Model Centre, Hattons, they would be able to discount further than, say, your smaller local model shop. So by limiting the amount of discount on new items, I guess they level the playing field, which helps the local model shops, is I guess why they're doing that. But it sounds a bit much to stop stocking. Huntsheath Model Railway, my local is the Hobby Goblin. Steve is a great chap. And actually, it's one of the things, Alex, that I always find, if you get somebody who runs a model shop who is a really approachable kind of person, I find that actually make or break on a model shop can often be down to staff as much as range and things like that. What are your thoughts on this as a retailer?
Oh yes, definitely. The customers always were right, So
even when they're wrong.
Yeah, and I think also sometimes, some customers don't know what they want.
Yeah.
And you have to sort of help them choose which item that they want the best. How we're going to help you choose an item from one of my stock.
It's one of the things that I find with. I've said this before, so it's not a new thing. But when I go into Hattons these days, it's lost that kind of browsability that I remember the old shop on Smithdown Road used to have, where you could go in and everything was there, and it was very much like an Aladdin's cave. And when I talk about the old shop on Smithdown Road, I'm talking about the original old shop on Smithdown Road, where you go in and it was just stuffed floor to ceiling with stuff everywhere. And I like that kind of an experience where you can browse and browse, because I don't know about yourselves, but I find that when I go into a shop, quite often I don't even know what it is I want. I find what I want by seeing it. Do you find that aspect of making it very transparent what you have in stock, allowing people to find stuff that they may not even have known they wanted, is that an important aspect?
Yeah, definitely. And making it easy to buy the products as well, because with all the pre-ordering and everything else, that's what I've been focusing with Baxley.com, being a Curascale specialist. We can sort of keep the stock because we have still have some Castle Cement wagons left available, but if you go to Curascale.com, they don't have any available, so we sort of hold the stock to allow people to buy it, because otherwise all the surge hits the Curascale website, everyone snaps it up, and people lose the opportunity to buy an item that they were looking for.
And from a retailer's point of view, this trend towards having to buy stuff on pre-order or run the risk of missing out, do you find that is a help or a hindrance as a retailer?
Definitely a hindrance, because the customers lose choice. You have to buy it. You have to buy it now.
Yeah.
So then they start overspending, and then they have to stop spending later on in the year because they've just splurged on all the pre-orders.
Yeah.
So, but you haven't got the item, so you can't enjoy it. So you can't play trades.
That's one of the things actually that I've got with the new Hornby announcements. I was actually quite constrained with my pre-orders, but even so, I've ended up with the covered monkey. Ow! That really hurt. I'm like tethered to the to the console up there as you just.
I do apologise.
No, you don't. Where was it? Oh yes, but I've got pre-orders totaling nearly £400 on just a few items, and what I tend to find is yes, I am, thank you, but sorry, that was probably really loud down through the microphone.
Maybe you'd like to go to work in an egg.
Yes, I would actually. I will have a caramel egg. But it does constrain what you then find yourself buying. And I find then when you've got a lot of pre-orders with a particular shop somewhere, it sometimes other retailers very much lose out, because you'll go to a show like, say, Worley or a Great Electric model train show, or L-Form at Ali Pali, and in the back of your mind is that you're kind of, you've already committed to buying £400-600 worth of stuff, so you find yourself going around the stores going, I shouldn't buy that. And indeed, the other thing as well, which I've been burnt on a few times, is you order from one shop and they're the last to get their stock, so you see it in shops and you can't buy it because you've already paid a deposit. So
we've got plenty of stock, boxes and boxes of Acura scale.
Yeah, you've just recently had a delivery, haven't you? Has that delivery's come through, has it?
No, this is the current stock we've got at the moment. The delivery will be coming in the next day or two.
And you've got literally, I mean, you showed me the figure actually. Yeah, you showed me the figure, and it is a truly scary amount of stuff. But at the beginning of the stream, let's have a look at some of the shops that people are recommending. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'm actually well behind here on the comments. The Growler Blackwood N-Gauge layout. Hi to you. Great to have you aboard. Uddington Model Shop. Last one in west of Scotland, but no N-Gauge stock. So it's either Harbin Hobbies in Edinburgh or CM Models in Carlisle. Is that for the entirety of Scotland? So there's like a couple inside. That can't be right. So hold on, let's see. Model shops by county. Can we just pick Scotland? The Castle. So the Castle Cement Acura Scale PCAs actually sold out everywhere else.
In a lot of places, some people still have some, but AcuraScale.com have run out completely, and they're not going to have any for a wee while, whatever a wee while is.
Is that the official term?
Yeah, a wee while. On the actual AcuraScale Facebook page, I'm not sure if it's Fran or not, but the official AcuraScale page says you'll have to wait a wee while.
Now, talking of all things Scottish, somebody was saying about Scotland being a bit of a desert when it comes to stockists. I found this one here. This is Bucky Model Centre in Moray. So Morayshire, that's up near Aberdeen, actually. So that is a bit of a distance, I suspect. They stock N-Gauge, 00. I'm looking at manufacturers. No Hornby or Bachmann or Graham Farish though. Right. So I'm just looking. Yeah, Scotland does seem to really struggle on. Let's have a look. How the borders? There's nothing in the borders. Stirlingshire, that's near it. Oh, people are right. There is nothing in Scotland. So Angus. Invergowrie Model Centre in Dundee and Max Model Railroading in Kirriemuir, which is I think that's up near the Montrose to Brechin Railway, the Caledonian Railway. There's a lot of model shops on here that I'm not familiar with, but let's have a look and see what other people are recommending. Kevin Bradley, Footplate in Kidderminster and Chester Model Centre are favourites. It's Chester Model Centre. I think that's when it was for a while. It was part of the Model Zone Empire, wasn't it? I'm not sure. New Junction says, my local model shop, Tony's Trains in Rugby, just came fourth in the Model Rail Awards for Best Local Shop. So that's pretty good. I must have a look, actually, because I'm sure that Arcadia in Shaw. Have you come across Arcadia in Shaw before, Alex?
I'm not sure. The word Arcadia sort of jogs my memory, but I'm not sure if I've ever been there.
They do a lot of continental and overseas outline stuff.
I've got continental.
I know you have. Yeah, you. I've seen some of your review videos. But he stocks all that kind of stuff. But he also, even though he's a small independent, he does price match with Hattons and Rails. So that's the other thing I think a lot of people perhaps overlook is they go straight to some of the bigger retailers without realising that actually smaller model shops can price match or in some cases actually undercut the big box shifters.
Yeah.
So I'm about to stuff my face with a chocolate egg.
Oh no!
If you'd have come, you'd have got one of these.
Oh, I regret now. Oh, my life's full of regret.
Yeah.
Oh no.
My belly is full of regret. This is what happens when you get middle-aged and have too good a life. Let's have a look now. New Mills Model Railway, totally right there, Jenny. Very difficult for small local shops to match Rails and Hattons prices. That is true, but as I said, Arcadia models insured do price match. Let's have a look. I Like Transport says, my local shop broke Hornby rules by discounting by 18%. I'm guessing... Unless the
rules.
Yeah, unless the Hornby rep comes in and checks your prices, how is Hornby going to actually find out?
Well, they will now.
But he hasn't said which shop it is. Sorry, I'm getting tremendously sticky with all this caramel.
Oh no! Don't be touching your trains when you're all sticky. You don't want sticky trains.
No. Oh, just keep talking, Alex. I've got a
Okay. Well, I've got lots of the Acura scale. It's really nice. I mainly focused on the Acura scale because it's just so nice. The models, they're really well made, and the packaging is just absolutely gorgeous as well. Really nice stuff. So that's why we've sort of specialised at the moment. And yes, but my personal collection, I have double O gauge English and HO gauge Marklin, which is a German manufacturer. But a lot of their models are actually made in Germany as well. And one of the main reasons why I like Marklin is they do sort of like interesting wagons. You have ones what I call like the museum cars. And every year they come up with a new museum car.
So what's the deal with those? So when you say museum, is that like a special edition?
Yeah, I think they're only available in the Marklin Museum. So you have to go to the Marklin Museum to actually get hold of one.
So they won't just post them out to you?
No, but I think you can. I usually get mine on ebay.de, so...
Right.
Second.
So there's a good steady trade of people going in there and...
You usually get a wagon like that, and then also you get a car as well.
Right.
So you get a wagon and a car. And that one's got a sparkling German wine bottle on, but it's like obviously a champagne. It's not champagne because it's not in France.
Yes, yeah, because that was the thing.
It's champagne, isn't it? Obviously. And then another one is this was the other year is a drum of wire. But what I really like about the Marklin is that's real wood that they've actually made that out of.
Yeah.
So that's actually wood, and it's actually a metal rope as well, and then the car as well. So you get a car. Now this one is an actual truck with a crane, but the crane's movable as well, which is quite a nice little feature. So they're always really nice. The Marklin ones. I really love the build quality as well.
Interesting.
And for the locomotives, they're actually die-cast metal. All the locomotives are die-cast metal.
Well, it's interesting in a way because way back when we had the Hornby 00 stuff in the UK that was mostly die-cast metal. And what's interesting is in the Hornby 2020 Centenary range, they've reintroduced a die-cast metal locomotive.
Yeah, I noticed that, yeah.
I've got one on order and they've proven very popular. They have actually sold out. And they've not even been made yet, as far as I can tell, but they've sold out. But let's have a look and see what else is being recommended. Somerset Andy, big hello to you. A big thanks to you as well for the Class 47 that you sent to me. I've got that all rigged up with sound. So thank you again for that very generous sending that to me. Somerset Andy says East Somerset models at Cranmore are excellent. So let's have a look for East Somerset models. Let's see if we can find them and get some information on them, because today's topic is support your local model shop. Let's have a look. East Somerset models. So that's the railway station, Cranmore, Shepton Mallet. Open. Oh, what on earth was that? Was that your end or my end? Because I've just ow. Can you tell that this is really lashed up? The I don't know. Did
maybe it was my train horn?
Yeah. What was that, Cupboard Monkey?
Be careful. It's really together very, very badly.
Oh, yeah. Combat Bunny, you and me both. I've got headphones in. Oh, so I do apologise for that. Wardle Road says Wistaston Junction. We didn't do a live. We recorded a video which should be out in a few days. Aha! A surreptitious plug for other channels. Yeah, Leslie Gilpin. Glad I didn't have headphones in. I did. J. Paul Anderson says nice E92, Alex. My father has one. Also got Colwich Junction says good evening from Philadelphia. Excellent. We're let's have a look. Actually, we can. I think this site does also, interestingly enough, if you go to ukmodelshops.co.uk. Oh, excuse me, I'm getting gas from the Coke. If we go down to the bottom, there is an international directory. So USA. Let's see. Oh, there's not that much. We've got Reynolds Euro Imports in Illinois and International Hobbies in Auburn, California. McBenman1 says, good evening from Norway. Good evening to you. Oh, the website's just broken. Oh, what? The what, sorry? I'm just looking. I can't find Norway. But Stuart Muir says, I went to the Stafford Model Railway exhibition. I got some overhead line equipment by N Brass Models. They also do the overhead line equipment in 00 scale. Interesting. And that's the thing, actually. Sometimes a lot of these shows, you'll get some very small retailers who don't necessarily have bricks and mortar shops, but will do the shows. I'm trying to think of an example, and certainly a lot of the small suppliers. So I think somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. So my ears are still ringing from whatever that noise was. Somebody like Burco, for example, I don't think they've got an actual bricks and mortar shop, but they do shows and things like that. Alex, do you do shows with your Faxley models? Faxley models.
Faxley.com.
Faxley.com.
No, yeah, we haven't done any shows just yet, but I'm planning on doing a few shows very soon.
Excellent.
Yes, because we've got a big van full of stock now. So.
Mark Wilson in the USA says, I use Caboose Hobbies. Excellent. And today, so just to let everybody know, those of you who's joined later, we've got Alex Crompton on, who your YouTube channel is Alex Faxton, and this is where it all gets complicated. And then your website is faxley.com. So once you got your head around that, it's all right. And David Watts has just joined. Hello, Jenny's guest. May I ask who you are? This is Alex Crompton, everybody, on YouTube as Alex Faxton. Let's have a look. Combat Bunny, you are on message. Need that like button smashed. Oh yeah, not off. And don't forget to subscribe as well. Flymo Chairman 1 says, my ears are ringing too. My PC sound card is piped through the sound system. Yeah, I have no idea where that noise came from, but in my ear, I've been practically deafened. That actually hurt. Valleybrook 2 Model Railway says, sorry I couldn't join you tonight. Don't worry about it. Gamehammer Classic Gamer says, next time we have a guest on, we will have their name on screen. This has been born out of necessity. Lashing together cables and bits of electrical tape and stuff like that. Because I did invite you down here, but I was very last minute. So obviously you couldn't make it. It's a bit of a trek from Blackpool way down to here.
Yeah.
But certainly now that we've proof of concept, we are going to try and get this to work properly. And hopefully it'll mean we can get people in from the other side of the world as well. This would be great. Jamie Smith says, great to see the smaller guys getting a mention. Definitely. And I've always been a big advocate of support your local model shop, because it's very much use it or lose it with model shops. There's so many that we've lost. And, I think one of the biggest losses on a national scale in the UK is Model Zone. I found Model Zone, yes, a lot of people slated it for being quite expensive and having staff that didn't necessarily know what they were talking about. But the thing about Model Zone was that it put a model shop on the high street in pretty much every town and city in the UK. And I think when we lost Model Zone, we lost that high street presence, which when you watch things like GMRC and Biggest Little Railway, a lot of this has reversed the trend of model railways being a bit of a declining hobby, because it's made it well known. And I think we needed that high street presence with things like Model Zone to have model railways, out there, being visible to people. McBenman1 says, what is GMRC? GMRC is a series that runs on Channel 5 in the UK. It's called Great Model Railway Challenge, abbreviated to GMRC. It's also actually, they've started syndicating it. So I know that in Sweden they're actually showing that. So it's not clear, are we going to be dubbed or subtitled? I suspect that we'll be subtitled, but that would be really funny to watch if I get dubbed. Biggest Little Railway actually got shown in Australia. I think it got shown in Canada as well. Obviously didn't need to get dubbed for that. McBenman1 says, Jenny, the reason you could not find Norway is because they have close to no railway suppliers. And I suppose this is something actually that, we would lament the fact that model shops can be few and far between in this country. But actually there are other countries where it's even harder to find a model shop. I know a lot of folks out in Australia. A lot of them tend to just order from places like the UK because it's so difficult. Mark Wilson says, Sweden GMRC will be like listening to Pingu. Oh dear. Colwich Junction says, I use the internet for certain things but use my local model shop. Tops Trains in Stafford is a great shop, always helpful. Like you say, use it or lose it. So Tops Trains in Stafford. Let's see if we can find them. So LMNOPQRST. Tops Trains. So I'm being told off here. I need to let my guest speak, apparently.
Well, I'm plugging you, Jenny, on my channel as well. I'm currently live streaming at the moment.
Oh,
so
right.
All my 2,820 subscribers, if they head over to Jennifer E. Kirk on YouTube and smash the subscribe, and also don't forget to smash the like on her channel.
Definitely.
As well, we can have a little bit of syndication going on.
Yeah. And anybody on my channel as well, if you head on over to Alex Faxton after the stream, of course. No point in getting lost and losing all this fabulous talk. But go over to Alex Faxton as well and subscribe as well.
I've got an interesting one for your viewers because the Marklin is actually still three rail. They never gave up on three rail.
So is it
the
a stud
locomotives
contact?
they have a shoe. Can you see the shoe?
Yeah. It's like
And
a
then
big
that's
skate.
the track. And the track has little metal studs in the middle.
Right, so you don't have that strip down the middle like Hornby Doubler always had.
No, they're like little studs. If you can just about see the stud. And then
So,
the train sits on top, and the shoe just slides along.
oh, grand. I've just seen in the comments. Whoa, Wardle Road! Thank you very much. That is incredibly generous of you. Just got back from filming at Barnabas Junction. Had a great time at Stafford Show too. Met some amazing people. Oh well, thank you very very much. That is incredibly generous. Donating the $4.99 on the super chat there. Thank you. That is amazing. Grand. I like transports. Just put up a link to Alex's channel as well. Mark Wilson asks, what period or country does Alex model? That's a question for you, Alex.
Well, I model UK modern image and also German, European, a bit of everything. Anything that sort of Marklin makes that tickles my fancy, I will be buying it. The latest one that I've bought at the moment is this lovely die-cast 1920s, 1930s locomotive.
That does look quite nice, actually. And is all their stuff three-rail, or do they do a two-rail option?
They do a two-rail option. You can get this exact same model, but it's called Trix. It's actually under the Trix brand.
Right.
So Marklin's three-rail, Trix is two-rail BC, but they're both the same locomotive, made in the same factory. And Trix usually end up putting a sticker over the top of the Marklin logo stamped.
Well, if
you peel the Trix sticker off, it's Marklin.
But presumably it makes it a lot easier to actually identify from at a glance which model you need to go for. I'm just looking through the comments. Michelle Penny says, me and Susan use Going Loco in Wakefield. Not one I've actually come across myself. RJC Models Official. Hey Jenny, hope all are well. Checked out that video of the backdrop on your layout you told me about on Facebook. Looking good. Oh, thank you very much. And then Mark Wilson, for the 10th time, I'm really sorry. As I say every week, because the comments come in so quickly, sometimes it's very easy. The comments scroll off the top before I've even seen them. If I don't answer the question, then do ask it again. Obviously, you've asked 10 times. I'm really sorry. The signal box in Ashby, Leicestershire, Middock. So, yeah, is that any relation to the signal box as was down in... Were they in Chatham? They were kind of the nerve centre for the old model zone empire. Right. J. Paul Anderson asks, is that a Württemberg or a Bavarian Pacific? That's that locomotive you just held up.
Bavarian. It's the High Stepper.
Hand Stepper.
High Stepper. Hang on.
Oh, High Stepper.
Yeah, let me just grab the box.
Combat Bunny says Rochester. I knew it was down that way. Oh, wow. McBenman1 says, biggest little railways got shown in Norway too, I think. In the part of Norway I'm from, they only have one steam railway with only one steam train. So was I subtitled or was I dubbed? Did somebody dub me? I quite like the idea of being dubbed into a foreign language. Vorsprung durch Technik.
It's an S3/6, whatever that means.
I have to say, I'm not very knowledgeable on overseas stuff. It has to be said.
Yeah, it's a 3/6. So whatever that means, but it's a Bavarian K-Bay. That's the actual.
So what sort of money do they cost, if you don't mind me asking? Because I always think of overseas stuff as being quite...
€550, this locomotive.
So that's what, about 400 and something pounds?
Yeah, about 400 and something pounds, yeah. But it's die-cast metal, DCC sound. All the Marklin stuff comes DCC fitted. So I think that's what adds to the cost. It's die-cast metal, so that's you know what I mean. That's going to
Yeah,
add to
because
the
that's
cost.
like £100 in the UK. If you get the DCC sound version over the regular one, you can easily get another £100 in the price.
Yeah, so the DCC sound, but you can't get the non-DCC sound option. They just Das Beste or die nicht.
Yeah. Yeah.
The best or nothing.
Yes. But that's the thing, isn't it? I suppose the Continentals are much further ahead of us in terms of the technology and stuff. And I can remember in the 1980s, the bad old days of the 1980s, when the models in the UK were just toys, absolute garbage in a lot of cases. And I can remember looking in shops that stocked the Continental outline stuff and just thinking that they were so far in advance of what we had in the UK. And that, the 1980s, they had the kind of finesse of models that we didn't see until probably very late 1990s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
McBenman one says, "Hi Jenny, put this in the translator. Hi Jeg, heter Jenny og Jeg den beste YouTuberen noensinne." Apparently I pronounced that really badly, but I can get the gist actually. It's like, "Hello there, Jenny. You are the best YouTuber in the world." In the world, I'm just guessing there based on my German, but thank you very much. In Norway, you were the rail trawlers and you were Gentag.
Hi, my name is Jenny and I am the best YouTuber ever.
Oh wow! So I was actually quite close at that. Apparently, according to the Cupboard Monkey, it's like, hi, I am Jenny and I'm the best YouTuber ever. That's, oh my word! I'm not going to be able to get my ego out of this door. J. Paul Anderson, not German, Norwegian. I know that, but I can't speak Norwegian, so my brain goes, it looks a bit German. I will pronounce it as per German pronunciation, and get it completely wrong. I Like Transport says, don't forget to check out Jenny's Monday Club merchandise, and I Like Transport has posted the link there. Ben Davis says, thanks for the streaming, Jennifer E. Kirk. Thank you very much. That's very formal. Jennifer E. Kirk. It's like I'm being told off. It's like, now Jennifer.
But one good thing with the Marklin as well is because they've made the decoders with the system, for the digital system, what you do is you just put the train on the track, and it auto detects everything and assigns it a channel. So there's no DCC. You know how you have to assign your different channels on DCC?
Yeah.
You just put the train on the track and it auto detects everything.
Right.
So,
but then how do you know which one it is to select it?
You can scroll through. Let me just plug in. I'll actually show you because I've got a controller here. So, hang on. Now this is the basic controller. We do a far more expensive one, which is.
So, what type of DCC decoders do they have? I mean, over here we've got predominantly 8-pin, 21-pin, and the 18-pin are coming through. But are they? What standard of decoders do they use over there?
I think they're 21-pin. They are standard decoders, but we've tweaked them, and there's extra bits on because what you can do if it's what's called an MFX Plus decoder, which is a Marklin special one, it actually acts as a train simulator on your layout, and you go around the track and it can use block detection, but it runs out of coal and water, and you have to go to the actual coal station and then reload with fuel and then drive off. And there is actually in here, I think somewhere, a little picture of what the control. You have to buy the bigger controller to do it. It only works with the bigger controller. But here we go. That's the actual. That's what it looks like on the screen of the controller. You get like a little cab view where you can actually see all the controls, and you can control the locomotive through the touchscreen screen
Right,
controls.
right.
So it turns in, so you can actually run your trains around your layout, but it's actually like a train simulator.
Wow,
And
wow.
they are the only people on the market who have something like that.
Brilliant. I mean I mean it's bringing a lot of extra levels to the actual to the hobby. And it's something we've talked about on live streams in the past. It's about technology and what it brings to the hobby. But today, for those of you who have just recently joined, we've got Alex Crompton on, and that's bear with me here. YouTube channel Alex Faxton. And website for your shop is faxlee.com. So yeah, you've got that all written down there, so that's a lot handier. But what we're really asking you all is which local model shops do you really recommend? This is an opportunity to give an amazing shout out to the local model shop that you think deserves the recognition for service, for range of models, and for the little things. Do they make you a cup of coffee or a cup of tea when you walk in? Do they always remember to say hi, how are you? And do they remember you from one visit to the next and give you that personal extra touch to the level of service? So this is a chance, anybody in the chat, big up your local model shop. Let us know which model shops have really done the world for your hobbying. New Mills Model Railway says Chasewater Railway, West Midlands. And it's an interesting point, actually, that a lot of preserved lines do have their own model shops. So, for example, if you are struggling to find a local model shop, you want to support a local model shop, and you know that there's a preserved line close by, then there's almost certainly going to be a model shop there. Wistaston Junction Trident at Nantwich is the best model shop around my area. They won the best backman shop for the year. Interesting. Let's go and find them. Where's it gone? Trident. So model shops by name. Let's see if we can find Trident. So Trident trains in Nantwich. Let's bring their details up. 10 The Craft Arcade, Dagfield's Craft and Antique Centre, Crewe Road, Nantwich. Opening hours Wednesday to Sunday, 10 till 5, closed Monday and Tuesday. And that's interesting, actually. A model shop that's open on a Sunday, quite often you find that everywhere's shut on a Sunday, which I always think is a bit silly, because if you're wanting to use a model shop, you're more likely to actually be free to do it on a Saturday or a Sunday. So I've always wondered about that. What else have we got here? Gary Tate, Invicta Model Railway in Sidcup. It's in Kent, is a great little model railway shop. Yes, one of the things that I really do like about Invicta models is that they do commission a lot of their own stuff. And is that something, Alex, that you might consider doing, commissioning your own liveries, perhaps?
Yes, I can commission, because I'm a Curascale official stockist. I can actually go to a Curascale and commission my own sort of wagons or livery or whatever I fancy. So it's something that I'm definitely going to look into.
Interesting, because Curascale is quite a new manufacturer to the scene. And I believe that they've been around a lot longer in the Irish model railway scene. They've kind of branched out into the UK. I've not actually seen anywhere commission their own liveries yet. Do you know of anybody who has?
Sheffield have done it with the PFA wagons.
Oh, right.
They've actually commissioned their own CPL something or other it's called. But so Rails of Sheffield do actually have their own commission of the container wagon. Yeah.
Interesting. So what would be your personal preference for commissioning? What would be the livery that you would look to do, and on what wagon? Or would it be a wagon, or would you pick a locomotive?
Ooh. Well, what we've done with the Network Rail one is that they've actually made their Network Rail locomotive exclusive to Curascale.com. So no reseller can buy that Network Rail version. You can only get that at Curascale.com. But the other ones, the DRS ones and the Euro Phoenix and all the good stuff, even the BR Green and BR Blues, on the Class 37 are all available, and I will be stocking them when they come at some time at the end of the year, maybe.
I must admit, the 37001 in the rail blue is the one that takes my fancy. I've got a real soft spot for the rail blue liveries. But let's just have a quick.
Like Northern.
Sorry?
I do like Northern, the old Northern livery. Like the purpley sort of. I'd love to sort of commission maybe a pacer in that, because they're so difficult to get hold of now. The pacer, the Class 142,
Are they that was Real Track that were making them? Was it Real Track?
I think so. Hornby have done one, but they haven't made it for a long, long time.
But the Hornby model is, I remember them coming out for the first time in the 1980s, so it's actually quite an old model.
Yes, very old, yeah.
McBenman1 says, "Hi Jenny, can you come to Norway?" Gosh, I've been invited on holidays now. I'd love to actually go and visit Norway, actually. Alex, have you ever been to Norway?
No, I've not been, but I've seen lots of videos of Norway. I've been to France and Switzerland, so that's where I've been. Because that's how I picked up on the Marklin, because when I was little, we used to go to France, and then you'd see the Marklin in the shops, and you'd go, ooh, that looks a lot nicer than the stuff we have over in England.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier on, that, in the, certainly for me, in the 1980s, the continental outline stuff was just streets ahead of the UK outline. The UK stuff has kind of caught up a little bit, but I found that back then they had things like opening doors on some of the trains, things like that, and certainly when DCC turned up, that was something that they were early adopters on. Leslie Gilpin says, "That's the problem with modern liveries, they are licensed." Is that something that, I don't know whether it's something you're familiar with, things like the licensing costs with some of these liveries?
Certainly. You can certainly imagine if you want to have like the Virgin Trains logo, that's obviously going to be owned by Virgin, and they're going to want a cut of the action if you want to make a model of that,
Yeah.
So
how does it work with older liveries, things like the older BR liveries?
Well, you see, I think BR, you may be okay with BR, because with it being a government-owned rail, it may just be classed as public domain, but I'm not sure. Maybe the government gets a cut every time we buy a BR.
I suspect that you have to license it, but you might find that it's literally for a nominal fee, rather than as a commercial, we'll make some money out of this type thing. But let's have a look and see what other shops that people are recommending. Let me just scroll up, because let's have a look. I'm just trying to read that. Anfield. Is that supposed to be Anfield? It's difficult to read that. Road Trains, layout in Loft. Kit Stop is my local train shop, Birkenhead, Wirral. Again, not one I'm very familiar with, but today we're doing a big shout out to all of the local model shops, the unsung heroes of this hobby. And also the other thing as well is that, it's use them or lose them. And if you want stuff like paint, Humbrol paints, very difficult now to get these things through the post. So you just can't get them from the big box shifters.
So true. And also the postage, if you're after just one or two paints, it gets really expensive. Because
very
also
much.
I have Games Workshop tabletop gaming as well. And if you want just a paint, it's one paint. It's like the paint's £2.50 and the postage is £2.50 on top.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, when you're buying stuff mail order, it almost encourages you to buy a lot to justify the postage costs, which can be counterproductive in some respects.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. Loco Shed in Manchester keeps coming up. A lot of people are name checking that, so I've brought up their details. I have actually been to this one. It's a little mecca of stuff. I've not been there for a while, even though it is. It's, I would say, technically at the moment, it's the second closest model shop to my house. It's at 48 Bury Old Road, Whitefield, Manchester. So we're looking at opening times. We've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So basically every day except Sunday and Monday. And they stock pretty much everything. There's also a lot of second-hand as well. And this is something that I keep telling people, is that your local model shops quite often will have a lot of second-hand stuff at really keen prices, because I know certainly Arcadia models in Shaw, the way that they approach it is that they don't want stock that hangs around. So when they get stuff in second-hand, it's priced to sell. You're right there. I saw the little wave and the funny expression.
Yeah, I'm just waving because I just remembered that there's also, if you're into narrow gauge garden railway, I've bought a few of that in the past, and there's a place called Track Shack on the Isle of Man.
I have heard that name actually, Track Shack. Let's see if we can.
Yeah, and they do the what they do is the roundhouse stuff that's made in Doncaster, made in the UK.
Yeah,
Brexit friendly.
Yeah, I've actually been into their factory by mistake. I'm just having a look. Track Shack. I can't find a listing for Track Shack. HIJKLMNOP Track. Oh no, yes I can. They're in Peel on the Isle of Man. Open Monday to Friday. They don't do weekends. So we got
the mail order. Very good service.
Brilliant. To go back to the Roundhouse story, I actually stopped there to ask for directions. I was trying to find a place that was round the corner, and I got lost. I pulled onto. Sorry, what do you want?
So did they send you around the bend?
I don't know whether. Yes, they are. No, I don't want one. I'm being better than
Ooh, goodies.
Yeah, see, if you'd
Bad influence.
No, I want the lemon one. Come back, lemon one.
Oh, so you do want a tart?
There you are, go on.
I'm trying to send over Zoe's that flight simulator for the Amiga as well. So when I send over your Acura scale, I'll send over Zoe's flight simulator with all the flight simulator books.
That is incredibly kind of you, actually. I can remember back in the day playing flight simulators on my Amiga. B-17 Flying Fortress was one that I used to play.
Well, this one was the Airbus one, the Airbus A3. I sent you a picture. Over
I remember. Yeah, A320 was it or something, or A380?
Yeah. The box weighs a ton because you get one little floppy disk and then like a huge stack of books and flight plans and flight charts.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember when we get told off in a bit for going off message? But I remember when you bought a computer game, you got a proper full-on book with it. I'm looking around actually to see if I can find a manual for an old school computer game. There's not any within reach, I don't think. No, but I remember when you'd get like a really big chunky manual, and it would have all the background history and all sorts.
Yeah.
Growler Blackwood N-gauge layout says, do you stock N-gauge?
No, I don't have any N-gauge at the moment. I only have the Acura Scale 00 and the Acura Scale O-gauge ones as well.
Oh, right. So do you stock the full range of the O-gauge as well?
Yeah, we're stocking up. We're buying them all up.
Right.
Them all.
I've just recently done a review on the HUO hoppers, and I described it as being the Rolls-Royce of wagons. Is that something that you would confer with?
It's perfection.
Yeah.
Really nice. Because when I did the video of the low-level nuclear waste containers, I had to actually get like my big giant camera out and then zoom in all the way to see the tiny little detailings on.
Yeah, I mean that's something that we do as well. We've got I'm looking around actually. She keeps them well hidden, but we've got like a super macro lens that screws to the camera. And the magnification you get, you just wouldn't see it with the naked eye. But once you actually zoom, oh my word, we're going walkabout.
Yeah, well, this is the fancy pants camera that I had to use. So
that's nice. What is that? What is that? It looks like a TV camera. It looks like the sort of.
Yeah, it's a proper TV camera. It's approved for use by the BBC as the ENG electronic news gathering. So.
Right. Yeah, I thought I recognised it. When they turn up here to film stuff, they quite often come with a smaller camera like that, and that's fully digital, is it?
Yeah, full digital system. So.
And how much has that set you back, if you don't mind me asking?
Ooh. Well, this one is a little bit older, but in the day, as in about 5 years ago, this set me back about £3 or £4.
Really, they're not cheap, I have to say.
The radio mic on top, the radio mic system was an extra £1 on top. So.
Gosh. But it's not cheap making TV stuff, I have to say. I'm just looking at. We've got. It's like see you watching me, watching me. That's it. But I'm just looking at the comments coming in. We've got Adams Railway says Dave at Pooley's is good to chat to, but a nightmare to get a discount from. I try negotiating with his wife Anne. I must say I got a bit. I used to get a better discount from the wife of the person that ran the Holton Model Centre than the guy himself. He'd give you 5%. She'd give you 15%. McBenman1 says, "Can you give a shout out to Mamod?" Okay, big shout out to Mamod. I believe they are still on the go, and we can segue in here quite nicely. Bolton Model Mart in Bolton. I'm gonna see if I can bring up. Let's see if I can bring them up under B.
Ooh.
Bolton Model Mart. Where are you? Bolton Model Mart. Bolton Model Mart stocks Mamods. So if you're looking for a source of Mamods, 58 Great Moor Street, Bolton, Lancashire. Opening hours Monday to Friday and Saturday. Closed on Sunday, and they do mail order as well. So they do stock Mamod, even though it's not listed in the manufacturer's list there, but they've got them in the window. So if you're looking, what? Yeah, apparently I'm being shown to show you what is actually a hideously dirty Mamod.
Oh, it needs a clean.
It does rather. Why is this so dusty?
Because every time that you do some DIY upstairs, it ends up on top of the stuff.
That looks like, these things you find in abandoned houses. Oh.
Oh dear.
That's actually my childhood Mamod.
Yeah, you've not cleaned it since then.
Yeah, apparently, I've not cleaned it since childhood. But yeah, let's have a look. Oh, the comments are coming in really, really quick.
Whoa, there's loads of comments.
I know. Tell me about it.
If you'd like your comment to be seen on Jenny's channel, don't forget to send a super chat, because then we'll definitely read it out.
I always feel really bad saying anything about that. It is there, and some people do find it, but don't feel obliged to. Game Hammer Classic Game. Oh, that's the. Zoe.
Yeah, I'm there in a second.
Oh.
Somebody on the phone.
I was just washing my hands after I'd held that Mammoth. Hello. How you doing?
So, right, anywho, I'm sorry about that. It's my father going, "Oh, I'm just calling you to say you're on the internet."
Oh! I'm doing a bit of DCC sound.
Oh, wow.
Well, since we're on walkabout, we can take a quick look.
Ham Shackleton says to this grimy, and I'm the one in Culture. Aha! So, right. So, and the one in Culture. Yes, Ham Shackleton. The Wigan area, there is a lot of shops knocking about. Nigel Weir says Will's kits. Actually, they do tend to be quite good. Mike O'Brien, Walton's Models in Altrincham is another good shop. Yeah, definitely. And Walton's Models do. Is everything okay? Oh, okay. Walton's models. So let's just have a look. Walton's. I'm sure I've just passed it, haven't I? Walton's models in Ultram. They were actually for a long, long time. I can remember Walton's models was the place you used to go for things like Walther's kits and American outline stuff. So they've been mentioned. So we've got the details here. 30 Stamford Street in Altrincham. Opening hours Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. So, and they've been on the go actually for a long time here. It says established in 1961, and some pretty good reviews actually. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's getting really good reviews. So big up to Waltons of Altrincham. Ham Shackleton says parking is dire though. I think if we go back to the map. Somewhere on here there is a place you can park because I've been there. I can't remember where it is. Somewhere around here there's like a supermarket you can park in. So you've got to know where to go for. Oh God, the dust off that man is just starting to get the back of my throat. Oh. It's been sat on a shelf underneath the loft hatch since before I redid the loft, so it's had all the dust out of the loft. Alton Model Shop, Fab Shop says Susanna Joachim. So let's have a look. Alton Model Shop. So Model Shop by name. Let's big up Alton Model Shop if we can find them.
I believe Joachim is pronounced Joachim.
Oh, Joachim. So it's Susanna Joachim. Am I right in that? Well, is Cupboard Monkey right on that? I'm not very good at pronouncing unusual names. So what did you say?
Not very good at pronouncing words.
Yeah, it's like my tongue got encrypted. What were we looking for? Alton Model Shop. Alton Model Centre. Here we go. Opening hours Tuesday to Saturday and Sunday is see website or call. So I suspect sometimes yes, other times no. Susanna. Let's have a look. It's Portuguese. So is Joachim the correct pronunciation, Susanna, or are we wrong on that? Paul Harrison, car park on top car park above shops and Rackhams, pay and display and get lift down to ground level, walk through Ginnell near W.H. Smith's and Walton's is just round the corner. Some parking on street but busy. Susanna, you've said not quite, so it's not...
I only know it because Joaquin Phoenix, the guy who played Joker in the last Joker film.
All right. So Joachim is more Spanish. So, McBenman 1. Did Silver Lady ever run out of water? Silver Lady did run out of water a couple of times, but no damage was done. Right, anyway, I'm getting told off for not letting you speak enough. So,
oh, ow. There you go. Now we can see you. I'm not sure it's a good thing.
Yeah. So, how Matt Maz2 says, how are we all this evening? I'm pretty good, thank you. And we also got, for those of you who joined later on, Alex Crompton is the special guest here on the Jenny Monday Club. YouTube is Alex Faxton, and that's spelled Faxton, isn't it?
Yeah, Faxton.
And
my friends, I'm feeling faxtastic.
Mark Wilson says Silver Lady was sung by Starsky and Hutch. Close. I think it was sung by David Soul, wasn't it? Flymo Chairman 1 says Yakim. I'm going to get the pronunciation, Susanna, of your surname right if it's the last thing I do. Leslie Gilpin says, wow, that was a noisy freight heading up the valley. Andy 1962, like a shout out please for my local model shops, Harburn Hobbies of Edinburgh and Scooney Hobbies of Kirkcaldy. You're absolutely welcome. And we've got New Junction in the chat room somewhere. Big up to New Junction. There's not a model shop, but do head over and check out his channel as well.
Junction! I watch all your videos because I'm a modern image model railroader as well.
So is that what I'm? Just give me a moment there. Am I doing something wrong by not being into modern image? Because
missing out. Look. I've got a DRS over here right now. Ooh, look.
So what manufacturer is that?
That is a Bachmann one.
Right.
Very, very exciting. I really love the DRS ones.
Oh,
and it's got a cargo load of the Hornby set that I picked up from Asda, which was, there's the Hornby train as well.
See, I looked for one of them and I couldn't find that. All the Asdas I went into didn't have them.
George Asda website. And here's the box. It was £25. Woo!
Yeah. I heard it was that cheap, which is why I wanted one actually for my little nephew for Christmas. But could I find one? Could I heck?
They were on the George website as well, the George Asda website. That's how I got hold of mine.
Right. So let's have a look. Susanna says you don't know what you're missing, Jenny. I know that I couldn't find my interest in modern image. It has to be said. I don't know what.
Preserved them as well, so you can run old trains just as preserved ones.
No, see, I mean, there's a part of me that thinks just to mix things up, I'd get like a really super modern model and have it trundle round.
There's a Cure Sale have got some new modern image ones coming up. They're doing the Caledonian sleeper cars as well.
Are they the Mark 5s or something else?
Yeah, Mark 5, Mark 5 sleeper car. And then they're making an electric one. I'm not sure which class it was, but class 90 something, is it? To go with the Caledonian sleeper car.
91 that they're doing, or am I thinking, or is it the 92?
I'm not sure. Let me check out on my screen.
Because Bachmann do an all singing, all dancing class 90 and
92. It's class 92. Yeah.
Right, and because 91 is the one that Cavalex announced, and then Hornby announced, and then Cavalex said that they weren't going to do anymore. Right, people are saying Paul Harrison said 92, Adams Railway 92, Mark Wilson says 92. So McBenman 1 says, what would happen to the boiler if it boiled dry, and how do you know if it's low on water? Well, it has a sight gauge. If it boils dry, what tends to happen is it overheats. So essentially, the energy from heating the boiler isn't getting sucked away by the water and being turned into a steam. As soon as you run out of water, if you boil a boiler dry, that heat just goes into the metal, and there's nothing to stop its temperature from just skyrocketing. And when you heat it up that high, you tend to get it distorting, it weakens, it starts to melt basically, and that's where you run the risk of a boiler explosion, because you effectively you weaken it, you start to melt it, and then the pressure inside just pops it. It's very dangerous. A boiler explosion is certainly something you never want to be anywhere near. At best, it will cause serious damage to the locomotive. At worst, it'll actually kill people who are stood next to it. The power of steam is actually quite eye-watering. I remember years ago now, probably about 15, 20 years ago, I remember going to a steam rally, and it wasn't the boiler that blew, but it was on something like a Aveling and Porter steam tractor. The metal plate that goes on the end of the cylinder, it sheared off. This thing was running, and for whatever reason, it blew the end of the cylinder off.
Oof.
And it was a blooming good job that there was nobody in its path, because it launched this piece of metal that probably weighed best part of 10-15 kilos, not a light piece of metal, and it launched it about 50 feet, and you just sort of watched it just go pum straight across the field.
Well, I've got a good story regarding that. My dad used to have a 1913 BB Fowler ploughing engine, the real deal, the big one. And he was coming back from, I think, because he used to do like church fetes and things to sort of raise money for the churches. And what he was coming back home, and he accidentally hit the sight glass with his shovel and took out the sight glass. All the steam went everywhere, shut the cups off to stop it coming out. And then he had to get home back from, I think, from Fleetwood to Pilling, which is sort of like like an 8-mile journey or something.
With no idea how much water was in it.
And you had to just like every now and then just put some more water in the boiler. Now it did have a plug. There is a plug in the boiler.
Yeah, the fusible plug.
Water level drops down, the plug shoots out, and all the steam then puts the fire out. So he wasn't worried about killing himself, but then he'd be stuck with no fire, no water, no boiler,
and of course
stuck in the middle.
And the thing is that once the fusible plug blows, you've got to replace it. But to replace it, you've got to get inside the firebox to unscrew the old one.
Yeah.
Because the ones my father built have fusible plugs, and they're essentially a bolt with a hole drilled through the middle, and then they're full of silver solder. So when they overheat, the silver solder melts, blows through, and then it's just like a jet of steam straight into your firebox. But I've seen them when people are doing like road runs and they get a bit careless. And it doesn't half make a hell of a mess, because you end up, all your fire gets blown everywhere. So there's like slightly soggy clinker and all sorts coming out. And the steam is then racing through the tubes in the boiler and goes up the funnel. So there's just this shower of crud and everything. It's quite a mess. Yeah. But yeah, to swap eye-watering stories about steam locomotives, my father nearly lost the wheel on his Garrett, and he did lose the wheel. What happened was the bolts that held the bit that's got the pin in the middle that stops your wheel from just freewheeling and holds it to the drive gear. There's 4 big bolts on the Garrett, and all 4, it turned out, had sheared off. And at the time that we discovered this, we were on a rally field. We were doing the one up at Pickering. Mm-hmm. And we went to set off, and we got so far, and there was this huge like crack noise, and then suddenly it just started chugging, and it stopped moving, but all the transmission was spinning over, and we thought, that's a bit weird. So when we investigated, we found that all 4 of these studs had sheared off. The thing was, the previous weekend we'd been down at Silverstone, and we'd done a road run with this thing, which included some very long, steep hills. So you can imagine what would have happened if the drive to the rear wheel had sheared off the weekend before. Because if you lose drive between the crankshaft and your wheels, you also lose your means of braking as well. Because effectively you don't have brakes, you have engine braking. And all we could think of was this 2-mile sustained downhill run with a big steep bend at the bottom, and we didn't dare think how fast a 1-ton Garrett steam locomotive would have got up to on that hill with no brakes whatsoever, and with worm gear steering. That might have been a bit edgy.
Yeah, definitely dodgy. Dodgy indeed.
Let's just say that it would have been squeaky bum time. I'd have probably just steered it into the ditch and jumped off, to be honest with you, but it doesn't bear thinking about the amount of damage that would have caused.
Well, we had a 7¼ inch gauge railway track go round our garden. We were lucky enough that it's big enough, but unfortunately we've removed that now. But when we had it down, we had a little sort of put petrol. I'm trying to think of the best one. I think the Little John by Roundhouse is probably the best description of it. It was like a Roundhouse Little John in 7¼ inch gauge. And I was chuggering around the garden, and we had all this ivy hanging off. And the ivy caught the roof of the locomotive, pulled the locomotive with me in it off the tracks, and dumped me into the fish pond we had.
Oh, wow.
Because the ivy it was over the bridge going into the fish pond, so it lifted up the train and dumped me into the fish pond, and I just ran off the train. But luckily everything stayed upright. It was so surreal. Everything just stayed completely upright, but just lifted off the track and went plop into the fish pond.
So what it actually says is that it pays to check your track before you go for a spin.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So why did you remove the 7¼ inch gauge railway? Surely that's just got like fun written all over it.
Yeah, no. Well, unfortunately, my dad got ill with cancer and sadly passed away. So before he passed away, he decided to just pull it up and sell it because he didn't want for it to be a burden or anything. But much to my sadness. But I guess I can always build another one. So.
You could always relay it, actually. In fact, I know somebody who's... we've had him on the channel before, Derry, Adair Faux Nightingale, recognisable by his characteristic hat. He's been on Biggest Little Railway and also Great Model Railway Challenge as well. Does all the shows, but he's very good at finding people who are selling that kind of stuff. But right, let's have a look at some of the comments. I know we've been waxing lyrical, and actually
there was asked a question before by one of your the chap who sent you the super chat before. He actually asked me a question, which was, how did I get into model railroading or model railways? And I got into it as a child. I was force-fed model railways. I was just given train sets and go and play with that. But I think my first proper set was actually the Lego trains, because my dad used to work in Manchester for British Telecom, and he used to come home with all the Lego train sets. So we had a big Lego train set. So as well as Double O, as well as real live steam traction engines.
So actually, if you hadn't have got interested in trains, there'd have been something wrong with you with that kind of exposure.
Definitely.
Right. Right, let's have a look through some of the comments, because I've basically ignored them for ages. Matt Maz2 says, saying that though, you should see the damage a leg out of bed does too to a diesel. Oh yeah, I've seen tractor units get a leg out of bed, charging up things like Windy Gap on the M62, and you'll be following a truck and it starts to leave a trail of blue smoke, and then there's suddenly a big bang and it stops dead, and a pile of little metal bits go scattering across the road, and basically. And basically, putting a leg out of bed is a colloquialism for where what tends to happen is that for whatever reason, the connecting rod, and this anybody who does know what a leg out of bed is, just bear with me. But for those of you who don't know, what tends to happen is that the crankshaft has parted company from the actual connecting rod.
Ooh.
Usually because the connecting rod has snapped, or you can have where the actual big end bearing disintegrates and becomes detached, and then when the crankshaft comes back round, that con rod is stuck in the down position, and you've got to remember your con rod is going round at probably several thousand RPM. it then strikes the bottom of that Kong rod, and the amount of momentum it imparts will just kick it straight through the engine block. So it's the end of an engine, basically, because once it's done that, you've got a hole in your engine block, you've got a bent con rod that's come out through the block, and your crankshaft is probably not looking so clever either.
No, not good.
Right. So I've managed to make a few people moderators. So I know we had a problem with the troll. I wasn't paying attention to the chat, but poor old Combat Bunny was struggling away as the only moderator in. So I've been able to make a few people moderators. So hopefully we should not have a repeat of that. So I'm really sorry if people are being bothered by some Muppet who basically just lives underneath their parents' stairs. But no more moderators. That people keep. As soon as I make somebody a moderator, people say, "Can I be a moderator?" I think I've made 3 people moderators, so I think we've used up my quotient for the day. You have this spanner of ultimate power. I have no idea what they said. I can probably guess, but to be honest, it's not big and it's not clever. Right. What were we talking about? Leg out of bed. Right. Yeah, I was trying to get through some of the comments. Talking about Garretts. It's my father that has the Garrett, and it's not Garrett as in the articulated steam locomotive. It's Garrett as in they're based out in Suffolk somewhere, or were. Oh, it's going to bug me now. I can't remember the name of the company. It's something Garrett and Sons. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Ham Shackleton, absolutely right. Ron Garrett, not the rail locomotive. Yeah, the Garrett road engine. And Marco's not got a Bayer Garrett. Let's have a look. James Naggington says, like Northern Rail, I'm late. Boom. Mark Samway says, young Jenny. I love it when people say that. Young Jenny. Please thank the organisers of the Alton exhibition at the weekend just gone. Some good traders there. Wheels of South Sea and model railway bits. Yeah, and it's a bit like we were saying earlier on today in the stream, that there's an awful lot of these small suppliers do frequent a lot of the smaller model shows. So, obviously when you go to your big ones like Elform at Ali Pally or Worley Model Club at the NEC, you're going to get the big players. But when you go to some of these smaller exhibitions, you do get a lot of the really small suppliers there. So, I mean, you mentioned earlier on, Alex, that you're thinking about doing shows. And any thoughts of any particular ones?
If I do a particular one, the first one that I'm going to do is going to be the local one to Blackpool, which is the North Fylde Model Railway Society one, which I think is held at a school somewhere. So that would be the first one I do, to give them a little shout out.
Yeah, shout out. I must say, there's one fairly local to here, and we sometimes get people through who organise it, and it's the Lee Model Railway Club do an exhibition. I've done that a few times. Combat Bunny says, had my doorbell go, had a parcel, so was away from keyboard for a few minutes. Don't worry, Combat Bunny, absolutely fine. We've got a few extra spanners of ultimate power. But Adams Railway says 151 watching the live stream and only 67 likes. How can that be?
Smash the like button.
Smash the like button, and don't forget to. I'm going all northern now. And don't forget to survive. Don't forget to subscribe too.
It's my northern accent. Way up there, cocker. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, once upon a time, I used to have a really broad Mancunian accent, and I can't do it anymore. But
Oh
I
no!
was sort of like the like Liam Gallagher type accent, and I then went to, I went to work for the BBC, and I then got the received pronunciation doing
Ooh.
radio shows and stuff. So, hello, this is the BBC calling, and now I can't do my original accent, but
Oh no!
I seem to be able to slip into an assortment of other accents. And there is actually there's a name for it. It's people who you take on elements of the accent and the mannerisms of the person that you're talking to. There is a special word for it. The cupboard monkey says annoying, but no, that's not the technical term.
Annoying guy.
But that's probably why I'm going a bit northern, is because I'm on here with you.
It's that northernness.
That northern. Hey up,
Hey.
Civerby, here bar gum. Let's get whippet on a string, a little flat cap on, go down to canal. It's at New Junction. Jenny's full on scouse when not live. Hey, yeah, still cars, rob post offices. What do we know about trains? Yeah. Hey,
I've got an
now
interesting
then,
one.
kid.
I went to the Indie Tracks Festival as well, which is in Butterley, the Butterley Railway, and it's independent music with trains, and they open up the.
Oh, is this at the Midland Railway Centre?
Yeah, Midland Railway one. Yeah, that's the one. So
Right.
I've been to the Indie Tracks one. It was really exciting, really interesting. Yeah.
And they have like full on groups and everything performing.
Yeah. And
So,
then they had a group playing on a train, and the train was going up and down the track with a group playing in one of the carriages.
oh wow, right. So is it like a bit like the Cambridge Folk Festival type thing, but on with trains as well?
Yeah. I think the one I went to, the Wedding Present were playing. That was the headline gig. So they're a pretty big band.
I see. I used to be with it, and then they changed what it was. So I'm now about as far from with it as it's possible to be. But a lot of these, I occasionally I tune into Radio 1 late at night, and there's all these sort of like the band names could be anybody, but there's some good music out there. But to think that I used to be like really finger on the pulse UK top 40, and now I couldn't tell you what's in the top 40 at all. I couldn't tell you what's number one. But sorry.
I'm quite into electronic dance music, so I'm not sure what the top 40 is.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. See, I was always people always thought that I was a rock chick. I did a rock show for a great many years, and I had this image of being like, Queen of Goth type thing. But actually, I loved club dance music, and that was always my secret love.
Well, I've got 90s dance vinyls in the house that someone inherited to me. They gifted it me. They were a big DJ in the Manchester scene, the actual Manchester club scene. And I've actually got a box full of, like a travel box full of like really fancy, rare 90s dance music that I'll have to go through one day.
Well, yeah, you will, because actually there's some really banging tunes, because like, as everybody knows, dance music attained perfection in the autumn of 1999. And but it's true, actually, because 1999 was a really great year for dance music. But downstairs I've got loads. Like I used to be on the promo lists, so I'd get sent all this stuff, and I do DJing in clubs as well. So when I'd be in clubs, I do a lot of rock stuff because that's what I was known for. But I used to like to go a bit on incognito and play like banging dance tunes. And back in the day, I used to be able to beat mix and all sorts.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So I've probably got a lot of the 90s 12-inch dance cuts that you've got. I probably got from buying them back in the
I've
day.
got a Lynn Sondek turntable as well to play them back on. So
Is that the Swiss-made one, or am I thinking of
now
something?
the Lynn one, I think, is it Scottish or something? I think the Lynn one might be Scottish, or it's UK anyway.
Oh, I'm not
UK.
familiar with that.
Yeah.
Mark Wilson says you now have more moderators than viewers. Oh, have we? I'm sorry, we're talking about like deep dish dance cuts. Have we? Have we just had people just tune out? Jamie Smith says Bachman announcement at 10:30 tomorrow. Jen, will you be live? Yes, I will. And I know that the announcements from Bachman this year, they've cancelled the press event and they've scaled back all the invites. Because originally I was actually invited down by Rails of Sheffield. So big up to Rails of Sheffield. Let's get their details up on the screen. So PQR. There we are, Rails of Sheffield.
Because on the Euroscale website, it pops up who's purchased things, but also the trade buyers pop up as well. And I was going in placing an order for stuff, and then all the stock disappeared. It like lost about 30 of each item, and it said someone from Sheffield has just purchased the item you are looking at. Rails of Sheffield had come in and placed all the trade orders as I was placing the trade order, and like grabbed all the stock.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That must have been a bit like gutting, because you're like, oh, I wanted that.
Yeah, I was ordering the PFA nuclear wagons at the time, and luckily I placed an order the day before for them, but I was placing another order for more because they were all selling so fast. And then it went, Rails of Sheffield and bought them all!
Oh, wow. So, I mean, that's one of the things, I guess, is that... Yeah, because a lot of them are quite limited runs. I've seen it says about 250 at most of each item, something like that, is it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, on the hopper cars, tops and pre-tops, coal hopper cars, that is definitely set to 250 max. For the PFA wagons, they haven't quite said, but we're waiting for the containers from China coming in, and then all the trade buyers are jumping in, all the people on pre-orders are jumping in. So the container arrives in the UK, and within a week, that container is sold out.
Yeah.
So,
but I suppose from their point of view, that's exactly what they want, because they don't want to be sat on lots of stock, because that's just money tied up. But it's interesting, actually. Jamie Smith has said there, just to go off on track, Bachman website has been down since 4 p.m.
oh no!
It's interesting, actually, because basically I had a look earlier on, and they've redone their website, and this has been a big bugbear of mine. Actually, I'm glad I'm glad that my chain of thought's just gone. You're holding train. Yeah, you're holding train porn up at me. Because that's
this is the driver John Elliott. This is actually a special edition one.
Was that
driver John Elliott was a special edition Transrail Bachman locomotive.
So who was that done for? Is that one of their regional specials, or
yes,
was that for a shop?
A model shop. Let me just grab the box. I'll be able to tell you. Because, you know, on the little nameplates that come in the box, it actually says which model shop it was that special commissioned them. And if we take a look inside, it was Jeffrey Allison. The shop was Jeffrey Allison. And I'm not sure if you can see just that. It's actually on the nameplate thing. You know, the little sort of extra nameplate that they give you.
I'm just trying to... Jeffrey Allison, there we go. Jeffrey Allison Railways in Worksop in Nottingham.
Yeah. So this particular locomotive, which is the Bachman number is 32-375W, is the Class 37/4, and its driver John Elliott and the running number was 37412. What you train spotters out there? Because I'm a massive train spotter as well.
Nice. I'm just let's have a look. David Watts says my LNER Robinson 04 arrives today after ordering it due to your review. Oh well, I'm glad I could be of help, because actually the Robinson 8K, also known as the Robinson 04, I love that locomotive. I must admit. But going back to the Bachmann site, I checked it earlier on today, and they've actually updated their site. It's been a great big bugbear of mine. The Bachmann website, they kind of downgraded it massively. It used to be really good, and then they do this thing like, we're upgrading our website, and they just made it utter garbage. But I've just looked at the new one earlier today when it was up, and actually they've gone back to more like how it used to be. So it's nice to see that Bachmann has actually listened to people. But in terms of the announcements, I'm led to believe that the trade event has been cancelled. That was what was happening on Wednesday. So the Wednesday event has been cancelled, and they've scaled back the invite. So I was going to be going with Rails of Sheffield, and actually some even quite high up people in Rails of Sheffield are now no longer going because they've just pared it right down. And I think that there's not really anything to be announced. Essentially, all they're going to be doing is confirming what will be coming out in the next within this year. So it'll be models that we by and large already know about, and confirming that they will be in the shops this year. That's as I understand it. Combat Bunny asks, anyone else getting their pre-orders from Hornby early? Tell me more, Sensei. What pre-orders are you getting early? Interesting, because I've got the Triang, the Stevenson's rocket. I've got that on order,
Nice.
and I've got the die-cast Duchess of Atholl, the Hornby 001 on order as well.
A big die-cast fan, so
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Have you ordered one?
Ooh, not yet, no.
Oh, you need to get in quick.
I know,
They're selling quick. They've sold
I'm going
out.
to be paying eBay stealer prices at this rate.
No, you cannot enable the gougers. But let's see. Come on, Combat Bunny. Is it mine was for 12 months' time? What? Mark Wilson says, "No, I won't touch Hornby since their recent standing on the small manufacturer's feet." I hear what you're saying there. Actually, that the old management at Hornby kind of burnt a lot of retailers trying to sell directly, things like that. But actually, it's interesting. Paul Harrison says, I was told yesterday that all the Centenary range is already sold out. I know that the O-gauge ones are sold out. The Duchess of Atholl is sold out. And then I believe both versions of Stevenson's rocket is sold out. And the 1980s edition of the Smoky Joe is sold out as well. Which,
Oh no!
in some respects, surprised me. Because, the Smoky Joe, it's been out since the year dot. But it was nice to see it reappear in its original 1980s packaging. But it's sold out. So it shows there's still a massive demand for the little pocket rocket. And now this just shows how much I am not with it. I've been told and warned that pocket rocket doesn't mean what it used to.
Ooh.
So I'm waiting for the comments will suddenly go, ha ha ha, I know what it
I
means.
know, because I thought it meant a really fast, small car.
Pocket rocket was a nickname for things like hot hatches. So
Yeah.
people who had their things like their Ford Capri GT gear, or the other, they were also the nickname for the little Hornby 040s, the little super fast ones, the railroad ones. But now apparently pocket rocket's quite rude.
They say, oh no, see, I call this a pocket rocket.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was their nickname, was a pocket rocket.
Yeah.
But apparently the youth of today call something else a pocket
Oh
rocket.
no, I've got a load of these, but for some reason the chimneys always snap off. I don't know why.
Have you not got a box of
The old
chimneys to stick
ones.
back on?
I think I've lost the chimneys.
You'll have to
I,
make some
I do
out.
have a 3D printer, so I think I'm going to 3D print some new chimneys.
Yeah, well, you just make stovepipe ones out of lengths of copper tubing.
Yeah, that might be handy.
Yeah. David Watts asks, will I be getting the Helgen Garrett? I'm in two minds about the Helgen Garrett. When they first came out through Hattons, there was a lot of issues with reliability and, with valve gear breaking off, with motors burning out. A lot of issues were reported. I'm hoping that they fixed a lot of those issues. I got warned off by somebody, but I think he was referring back to the original Hattons batch. So yes, I would love a Garrett, but it's like £220, something like that.
Ooh, it sounds like Marklin prices.
Yeah. So basically, for a UK outline model, I mean, it's a big model. That's a lot of money. And unfortunately, at the moment, I find myself there's just so much good stuff, and not enough money to go around. I don't know, is that how you're finding it? Do you find that we've basically never lived in such a good time for model railways in terms of what's available?
Actually, I'll show you this Marklin one I've got. This is an American image one, and this one cost €690, and it comes in a wooden box.
Wow.
So hang on, let me just grab that now, because I've got it stashed away. Now this is die-cast metal, so it weighs an absolute ton.
Is it quite a big thing? Is that the big boy?
It's the Challenger, so it's like the big boy, but it has 3 wheels instead of. It's like an 06, a 4664 instead of a 4884.
Is that the one that was produced in like a special edition set recently?
Yeah, well, this one is from, I think, 2017, because it has the smoke deflectors on the front.
Right, so that's like an earlier version.
Yeah, and this is full DCC sound, and if I can grab the box that it comes in a amazing box. There we go. That's the actual box.
Yeah,
that it
I've
comes
when
in.
I was at Rails of Sheffield, they had some stuff like that, and it was just the attention to detail. The one that was out recently actually had like all sorts of little extras. It had like a works plate in there and everything. It was quite an interesting package, but it wasn't cheap at all in the slightest.
And that's the box that it comes in.
Yeah.
The big box.
And how much did you say that was? €690?
€690.
Whew, blimmin' heck.
I know. Big boys' toys for big boy fans. It weighs a ton though. It's worth its weight in gold, I think.
Yeah,
Literally.
sometimes hold on. What have we got about in the there's an argument raging in the comments whilst we've been talking. Sam's Trains did do a review of the Garrett the other day. I'll be honest with you. It's very expensive. I think you get a lot of train for your money. But Mark Wilson says, Sam's Train's a backup. Why can't we talk about him? Yeah, you can talk about him. That's not a problem. Andy1962 says, see Sam's Trains for Garrett review. Going to give it a miss. Too many Hornby items to pre-order. Absolutely true. I think at the moment, in some respects, the Hornby Centenary range, the 2020 range, has kind of taken the wind out of the sails of all the other manufacturers because they've probably soaked up so much buying power into the Hornby range that's got to come from somewhere. Timbersurf says, IC82 is back. Yes, I've seen the video. Will is back. Didn't really show an awful lot in the video. I'm interested to see actually if he keeps bringing out videos. He did make a comeback about 6 months ago and only posted one video. So interesting to see what he does, but he needs to. I suppose he needs to put up a lot of quality content very, very quickly because there's a lot more competition in the market these days.
Oh, is that the city guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to see him and he was like really big and his channel was really taking off, but I think he had to just take a little breather.
Yeah, there was a lot of things going on in the background with him, personal issues that he needed to get sorted out, and he let it kind of get on top of him a bit, because one of the things that he did that made a rod for his own back, and I've talked a little bit about this on the channel, was that anybody could send him a model and he'd review it. And the problem was so many people sent the models in that I was told that he's got a garage that is literally just full of stuff that people have sent in. Yeah. And of course, then, you know, people are expecting it back. And I think it just really became overwhelming. And it's one of the reasons that when people offer me their own personal models and say, oh, do you want to review X, Y, or Z model? I will lend you mine. I always turn it down because in the back of my mind, it's Will at Intercity 82 getting massively snowed under. I mean, I'm very lucky. I get sent through review samples from a lot of manufacturers. I think it's about 10 manufacturers at last count. And, you know, it's not huge amounts of stuff, but it's enough that I can do a lot of reviews between that and what I'm buying myself without needing to borrow models for getting extra content. And I just don't want to fall into that pitfall.
No.
But
Definitely not.
I mean, as another YouTuber, I mean, do you find that you know, when you do reviews, do you find that there's more stuff that you could review than you have time in effect to review?
Oh, definitely. Because I've done an Oxford Rail review of the grey Intercity Swallow, but I need to do a review on the BR blue grey one, and I've just not got round to it yet.
See, what I found with doing reviews, and it's a bit of, for people in the chat room, it's what's it? Hail Jenny, Zoe is the ultimate mod. Hail Zoe. What have I missed something? Have we had? No, I just, like, in the corner of my eye. Let's have a look. Interesting. I think there's what I will say to the moderators, those that have been given the spanner of ultimate power, do please moderate with a degree of you know, don't just willy-nilly take people out or take out comments. The way my approach to moderating is that I give a lot of leeway. If people are plugging other people in passing, not as in, like, you know, like everybody go and watch my video type thing, that's fine. Talking about Sam's trains in the comments, I'm okay with that. So all of you who've got the blue spanner of ultimate power, there's a lot of things you can let slide. You might think, say, somebody's going off topic or somebody's talking about another channel, but you don't have to moderate everything. It's just really just the troll. Mark Wilson, the ultimate spanner, that should be an award. I think it was when I was at school. That was one of the insults, like, oh, you spanner. The Growler Blackwood Engage layout. Jenny, some of Weens are out of control. Mark Holt asks, who is your guest? We've got Alex Crompton, also known as Alex Faxton on YouTube. And Alex's website is faxley.com. You're well prepared for this. Wakefield Train Lad says, just subscribe now. Thought I did it earlier, honestly. So sorry. You're absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. But it is great to have you aboard. Mohammed Shahid, evening to you. Game Hammer Classic Gaming. What's going on? I was playing Banjo-Kazooie. Legend! I like transport. Says I forgot what I was saying earlier. What does everyone think of the return of IC82? I don't know, Alex. What's your thoughts on this? Did you used to watch IC82 back in the day? I say back in the day. It's only like a couple of years ago.
Because I always found it really amusing how he had that plaque saying the world's most famous skirting board.
Yeah, and I like that. It's when people don't take themselves too seriously. I think that's very important.
Yeah, but there's a lot more competition now. A lot more competition. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing that actually when Will started, he was kind of the first, and being there at the first, doing that kind of thing, does count for a lot. And I guess that's one of the reasons that he became quite big, because he was doing this before even monetization turned up on YouTube, but he was doing it as a very intense, very engaging type thing. So he built an audience back when there wasn't a lot of competition. As you said before, the problem now is that there's a lot more competition in this area. People have mentioned Sam's Trains. He's probably the next biggest in terms of subscribers. But then there's also New Junction, was in the chat room before, Cottesmore, yourself, myself. There's a lot of other YouTubers producing content, producing good content. And one of the things as well I've noticed is that if all you do is opening boxes, say, it only gets you so far.
Definitely.
And it's one of the things that I've tried to actually do is not just do the reviews, but actually do how-to guides. I think are very important. And I like to think that in terms of the mix of what I get on my channel, there's a lot of different content, sort of something for everybody. So I don't see myself as competing, in inverted commas, with the likes of IC82, with the likes of Sam's Trains, because I think what I'm doing has got enough different stuff in there that there's room for me and for them. But it is a crowded market. And I guess, I've seen some actual, there was somebody posted on, I can't remember which Facebook group it was, but they were whining about basically YouTubers just wanting to be famous and like how, we're just camera whores and stuff. And I thought that what it actually showed, I suppose, is that Google's actually made it harder to get on YouTube than ever before. And I feel like Google, I feel like Google is pulling the...
Yeah, they seem to throttle you and you have to earn... Your channel always grows slowly. I've never seen a channel really just suddenly explode. It's like a slow growth sort of thing. That's what I've noticed. You consistently keep uploading, and if you enjoy making the content, you see the trouble is as well with YouTube is that content is king, and a lot of people try gimmicks and clickbaity titles, clickbaity thumbnails. But the algorithm is monitoring. There's been a recent YouTube video from the Creators Hub, the actual YouTube creators. It says, like, how long should I make the video? Because there's this myth now that the old algorithm favoured views, then the newer algorithm favoured watch time. But now what's happening is there's algorithms, and there's about 250 data points that YouTube are actually monitoring when a user watches a video, and they're watching how satisfied they are from watching that video. So if you make satisfying content that keeps people coming back again and again and again, and mainly staying on the platform, so they maybe, say they land on one of my reviews, like the PFA reviews, container reviews, and then down the side, one of your videos may appear. So long as they're staying on the platform and watching for longer time, then it will rank your channel higher. So if your videos keep people on the platform and keep them watching, you will rank higher in YouTube. And if your video makes someone click off and leave YouTube, then you will go down massively in the results. So the penalising people with clickbaity stuff, if it doesn't deliver, then you will be penalised. You know.
I think we've all seen those sort of videos that has a title that there's nothing to do with that in the video, and you kind of you skip through the video and you get to the end and go, so where was the bit where you got arrested by the cops? It just isn't there.
Yeah.
Which I find.
Also, other people who bury it. I've seen other people. There's like a lifestyle guy called John Olson. He's nothing to do with trains, just Lamborghinis and things like that. But he'll put like latest like Lamborghini garage in Marbella, and he'll put it 18 minutes into the video. So no, apart from his hardcore fans, everyone who turned up for the cars isn't going to watch it and leave. And that's a very dangerous thing to do, because it's like, oh, well, people are going to wait and they're going to watch it for 18 minutes and then see it. It's like, no, they've come for the Lamborghini. They want the Lamborghini. If it's not there within 10 seconds, they are gone.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's one of the things that, just to give a little peek behind the curtain, what I think is always important is, I call it the pre-roll. So before even my channel... even before the channel, just give me a moment. I
do a similar thing. The latest video that I've done on the very old Arden HO locomotive, I've done like 5-second clips with music, the YouTube music. So I do 5-second clips, like about 4 or 5-second clips of the locomotive and it driving around the track and stuff with music on, and then it runs into the actual video. So then that 10 seconds where, because if you look at the YouTube metrics, you can see the watch time, and obviously it drops below.
Yeah.
But YouTube are looking for about 40% audience retention. That's sort of like the key thing from the video that I watched a few days ago.
I can well believe it. And what I try and do, one of the things which I find, if you're going to do something where you've got to like build, you can't just like, here's the reveal thing that's kind of like the clickbaity bit. Having a pre-roll, so before the credits, you show like a trail ahead. And a bit like it's how TV programs do it, where it's like coming up in this episode type thing. And you're trailing ahead for some of the interesting bits and showing enough that people know what they're waiting for, but not so much that people then go, well, I've seen all the interesting bits, I don't need to hang around. Yeah. And it's...
you nailed it, that's the key. That is the absolute key,
So when you actually see my videos, the review videos, one of the things which I always try and... the cupboard monkey will start shouting in a minute. The cupboard... there we are. There's the money shot. Thank you, Cupboard Monkey. Is that actually to get a running shot of the locomotive? If I'm doing an unboxing of the locomotive, if I go straight in dry and just start talking about the box and getting the packaging off, people get bored. It's like give me the porn, give me the train porn. So what I always like to do is have that initial shot where you see the item on a model railway. If it's a locomotive, show it running, and that is trailing ahead of what's coming up later in the video, and then people are more likely to sit through the from start to finish because they know that that's coming. But I'll be honest with you, there are some YouTubers who in our genre are notoriously clickbaity, and I'm talking about, why would anybody run a model railway in a paddling pool except to pick up clickbait? And it doesn't add anything to the hobby. And, it's the big elephant in the room. And, Sam's Trains is very popular. You've got to give him that. And he knows how to work the audience. But... videos about how that time my model railway room nearly burnt down because of a burn.
I never saw that one,
And you're looking at it and it's like, the hell are you doing? Cremating it on mains voltage? They just don't do that. I don't know if anybody's ever accidentally burnt out a locomotive motor, they do not catch fire. They simply don't. I have accidentally cremated an armature on a model before now because it was old. It was a Hornby 00 Mallard, and the insulation on the windings was starting to break down. It had a mucky commutator, and it stalled on the layout. It was at an exhibition. I was talking to somebody, and I just heard, you know, when you hear somebody in the periphery and you think, hold on, and they went, oh, look, that locomotive's got a real smoke effect. And I just looked around, and the magic smoke was busy emptying itself.
Blue smoke.
Yeah, no, it was actually white. It was an evil-smelling white smoke, and it was because Hornby 00 casting is completely hollow, but it has a hole all the way through for the funnel at the front. So
Mark Holton's asked me a question about the Acura scale, which I do have an answer to, which is the Acura scale KUA nuclear flask twin packs. I have actually have official confirmation. They are coming in 6 months.
6 months. Brilliant. So do you know when the Class 55 is due?
Ooh, not sure about that. Is that the Deltic one?
Yeah, the Deltic.
Because what's happened with that is that there's actually been a slight delay, and the Curascale have said, yeah, we did start a little bit. We thought this was going to be really easy, and no, it's not. Now, I don't know the exact thing, but I do actually have the Deltic update here, and the official line from the Curascale is, it's been a few months since our last pre-production update on the blah, 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 Deltic, blah, 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 blah. While we are very happy with the shape and overall look of these fine beasts, we felt that there were several areas of improvement. These include the shoulder grills, bogie adjustments, roof fans, roof fan grills, handrail adjustments on the front, glazing, buffer cowling and shank. After a period of testing, we felt some improvements in the running were needed as well. So basically, a lot of improvements. This was nothing major of note, just some fine-tuning was required. We were also mindful of the sample did not include all the ESU techno goodness we had specified, such as power pack and circuit board. However, we felt some small tweaks would benefit the model. And here we go, this is the naive bit. We were perhaps a tad naive when it came to planning out production and delivery of the Deltic. We were originally thought that these changes would be done in a very short time. After a series of discussions with the factory, it has become apparent that these changes will take longer than envisaged to implement. Therefore, we must now inform you of a revised delivery date of the Class 55. So now we get on to the good stuff, what we've all been waiting for. The changes we have requested above are well underway though. Chinese New Year delay works for almost 6 weeks. Our factory has a revised delivery date of late May. So the official word is late May. Is now stated for the decorated samples. So that's not launch, that's the samples, which will include mechanism improvements, cosmetic improvements, blah, 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 blah. And meant that some retooling is required, currently occurring in China. Once we are happy, now I do have a date here, once we are happy with the decoration samples, blah, 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 we are looking at a delivery date to customers of, wait for it, are you sitting down? November 2020.
All right.
We apologise. Yeah, November 2020.
Because I think the original plan was to have them out to actually be on sale for L-Form at Alexandra Palace, which is 21st of March. That was the original delivery date. Because I'd been told that there would be an actual sample, a retail sample would hit the running tracks on that day, because I was hoping to be able to run one. But I think a lot of people might think, gosh, that's like really weird the way that's written. But I've met Fran Burke, so I know where they're coming from. So have you met Fran?
I've not met Fran, but I've talked to Fran. Like I say, with the wee wait a wee while for the castle cement. How long's that? Oh, a wee while. Like a wee being a giant wee.
Is that a standard unit of measurement there?
Yeah. So there is more coming though. They are making more, but it's going. I think you're gonna have to wait for a container from China for a while. So
yeah, I think there's a bit of a discussion going on about moderation in the chat room. So I think I am the Uber moderator on account of me being my channel. So what I'm going to say is that David Watts, you probably summed it up. Moderators should be impartial judges. So anybody who's been given a spanner of ultimate power, please do bear that in mind. Don't just wade in all guns blazing, shoot first, shoot some more, and then when everybody's stopped twitching, attempt to ask some questions. We've got to keep the moderating. Like, yes, get rid of the trolls, but there's when people are just having a bit of a joke, not bullying, but having a bit of a joke, that is fine. Mentioning other channels, that is fine. I'm quite relaxed and laid back. I do believe in bigging up other YouTube channels. I know some YouTube channels are very much like, no, we exist in a bubble with nobody else. So if there's problems with moderators, then I may have to remove some. And it may be that we start a chat with a lot fewer moderators and then add in as and when necessary. Because I can't be having people arguing all the time over moderation. James Pets, I like your relaxed oh gosh, I need to get my teeth around that word. Moderatorial style.
And I'll just give you a plug, Jenny, because I've got obviously not your 155 watchers, but I have 11 watchers on mine. So if you'd like to head over to Jenny E. Kirk, then
and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
Smash the like button.
Now, but McBenman1, no, I'm not arguing. I know you're not arguing with anybody. It was just a kind of a general, not picking anybody out in general, but I know that there was a little bit of tension on some of the moderation choices, so it's just a case of like easy. Now then. Mark Wilson, Jenny, you are the voice of understanding. I know, I like to be. Right, Jamie Smith, Minsterly, channel one of the very best. So there we are. We've got a little plug for somebody else's channel. Flymo Chairman 1, I've got a wee pile. Now, it is a wee pile in the same standard of measurement as Fran's. I'm deciding whether to scavenge them for new bogies or actually keep them for the actual intended models. I'm not familiar with Mills cattle wagons, I have to say. Leslie Gilpin, Catherine.
Stop. That is the question. Is that a wee pile?
Catherine Norman, what are we discussing tonight? The general overarching theme is support your local model shop. So what we were asking people at the start, we do stray a little bit. There's tangents, and I'm somewhere meandering down a tangent at the moment. But big up your local model shops, not just in the UK, but all around the world. Essentially, local model shops are the unsung heroes of the hobby. It's use them or lose them. So if you either work at a model shop or you have a particular local model shop that you really do get great service from, if they have a really great choice of stock, if they couldn't be more helpful, if they always offer you a cup of tea or coffee or whatever as you come through the door, if they remember your name, all these kind of things, if this is something that stands out for you about a local model shop, then do please give them a plug, and we may be able to look them up. Catherine Norman. My mum runs one, so know a bit about it in Sydney, Australia. Catherine, what's the name of your mum's model shop? We'll give them a plug. I don't think we do have a few. Let's have a look by country. Just Australia. We've
A lot
got.
of my audience is American, so
We
they'll
have.
be coming on later. I think what they'll be doing is a lot of people will end up watching the archive of my video. So you might see a little surge of American viewers on your channel, hopefully.
Oh, brilliant! I don't actually have the viewing numbers. It doesn't because I'm doing this on a. I haven't got a mirror to hold up to show people what I actually see, but I'm doing this on a Mac. Forest Miniatures. So there we go, Forest Miniatures. We can bring you up. So that's 17 Hurdis Avenue, French's Corner, New South Wales, Australia, 2086. There's the telephone number. Opening hours Monday to Saturday, 9 till 5. And they do worldwide export. I presume, Catherine, that is the model shop in question. We'll just put that up on screen there. So, Andy 1962. It's always the personal touch every time at Harbour Hobbies, Edinburgh. Catherine Norman says third from the top. I think there we are. So it's always nice to have people in from model shops, and like I say, it's very much use it or lose it. In this internet age, essentially, these are the last bastion of the hobby out there that are great for getting things like little tins of paint. If you need a little tin of paint, you can't really get it mail order. Certainly in the UK, they're classed as hazardous. They just won't let you post these things, or you'll end up paying more in postage than the product costs. So support your local model shop, and quite often you will find that there's a lot of second-hand items. There's a large range of items. It's good to browse. And Alex, we talked earlier on about quite often that experience of when people say, well, what are you looking for? It's like, I don't know, I'll let you know when I see it. I think it's great to actually go into a shop and just browse, and I find myself finding things that I didn't know I wanted until I saw them. And if anybody saw my video when I went access all areas at Rails of Sheffield, I was like a kid in a candy store because I was finding things in.
I saw you see the big boy locomotive because the guy said, "Oh yeah, I bought 1,000 of these," and I thought I was crazy when I did it. And then you were looking, and he said, "There's always one piece in your collection that can stand out that doesn't have to be like English or something.
Yeah.
One special piece."
I must admit, I was very tempted by that, but there was, I reckon I could have spent £100,000 on stuff from Rails of Sheffield, from what I found in their stock rooms, and still would not have got everything that I wanted. Let's have a look. Bish bash bosh. Catherine Norman, Mum has been running for 30 years, and that's great. A lot of these local model shops, they've been around for quite a long time. They've built up that knowledge of the manufacturers' ranges of the products, and they do give really good personal service. So do support your local model shops. Lifestyle Unleashed. Local shops are a great way to source second-hand models that fill a gap you couldn't fill in your collection when new. And it's like I've said before, a lot of these shops as well, the second-hand is priced to sell. So you can often get yourself a really great bargain.
Yeah, definitely.
Malcolm Phillips says, I have a great day out by train from Cardiff when I go to my main suppliers. AC Models in Eastleigh, always friendly and a warm welcome when I get there. Always good to chat. Chris Lawson, I have a good selection of model shops near myself, 2 near my home and 1 near my office. The 2 are Peter's Spares, I've heard of them, and Stockton Modeller, I've heard of them too. And the other, Northeast Model Centre. Not familiar with that one, but I know up in that neck of the woods, Durham Trains of Stanley is a pretty good one, up in Stanley. If you head on I think it's the A692 or A694, straight off the A1M at junction 63. Head on that road, and as you pass into Stanley, the very first roundabout, turn right, and they're just down that little road on the left. So yeah, Durham trains to Stanley is pretty good.
The thing I noticed as well with the Hornby Scaledale range, certainly in the past when I was buying items, that you'd have to buy them second hand. I'd go into the shop, there was one called Going Loco in Lytham St Anne's, but unfortunately that one's gone now because use it or lose it.
Yeah.
And I'd buy the Hornby Scaledale items of a few years ago that weren't actually available anymore because they'd sold out and they weren't making any more. And I'd buy them second hand from the model shop. And it was great compared to eBay because you could actually inspect it and see if anything was broken off or things added that weren't pro, so to speak.
Yeah, sometimes you can get an amazing model that's been kind of ruined by one of the biggies is very amateurish attempts at weathering. And I've seen some amazing locos ruined by very poorly applied weathering. But somebody asked to give a shout out to their local model shop. There's Mark Holt says, can you give a shout out to the local model shop, Jane's Trains of Tooting? Great people. Sadly, I don't use them as often as I should. So there we are. Jane's Trains, 35 London Road, Tooting, Greater London. Opening hours Tuesday to Friday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. So just be aware with that one that they're very much they do appear to appreciate their lie-in, so they're not open until midday. Lifestyle Unleashed, Culture Model Shop is handy for picking up tins of paint when I'm working in the area. Mark Wilson, Jenny, have you been to the Bolton Berry Street second-hand shop? Yes, I have actually, and it's what I said earlier on. Preserved railways as well often have a shop where you can pick up stuff too. Bish bash bosh. Let's have a look. McBenman one says, I'm not upset that we don't have train shops in Norway because when I go to England it just makes it even more special.
Climo, he's asking me a question. Have I seen a few O-Gauge European point of view videos? But I think he's saying about the famous car designer. Now there is a Porsche one, which is a Markling train set, and they actually have a projectors that project the sky, and it goes daytime and nighttime on the layout, right. And they actually project the sky, so you have the daytime, and then they have the nighttime as well, and all the stars come out, and that's a really interesting thing. I do have a projector, and I've been tempted with my layout to actually put a projector on the background, like it's a live background scene. Very clever. So Miniature Wunderland
in Hamburg have like a day-night cycle? So every something like 30 minutes, it cycles a 24-hour period in terms of the lighting.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Tony Wright says Buffers of Axminster. Yes, I have used them as well. Excellent personal service. I believe that they had the tagline James May says my kind of model shop, because that's the one. If you ever watched the James May's Toy Stories, where they tried to build the world's longest model railway, he actually goes into Buffers of Axminster. That's where he gets bits and pieces from. But they do occasional special commissions from Bachmann. So I do have their Axminster Carpets van. And and there was also a brewery. I'm trying to remember, Golden Hill Brewery. And they were based on the Bachmann Southern Railway plywood ventilated vans. They're all out of stock now. Warrington Train Spotter asks, Alex, do you bother with real trains or just the model form?
I am a bit of a train spotter, I must admit. I've got the camera gear to sort of do some spotting at Preston, you know what I mean? Some train twitching, you know.
Oh, so do you go to Preston to do that, do you?
There's some really nice freight wagons that come through on Preston, just on the top end of the station, you know. You get some really interesting ones. You get Royal Mail wagons and everything. So I need to actually go with this and film some more.
Well, also you get I think it's once a week or twice a week. There's the bitumen tanks as well, so you can actually, if you know where to go, you can follow the bitumen tanks down that line, and it's quite a steeply graded, quite tightly curved line. So when it comes back up, you get some serious clag. But there are some places where if you know the back street to go to, you can peer over fences and see the line going between the tunnels. I didn't know that you did stuff at Preston. I go to Preston a lot, not to look at the trains, but there's a couple of really good second-hand bookshops in Preston.
Ooh. Nice.
So it's where one of my other hobbies, I indulge in collecting books.
Ooh, have you seen the Games Workshop Black Library books that they've had?
Yep, got
They're
them.
really nice, really nice. They're doing the Horus Heresy ones, the brown binded ones. I actually got one, but then because they were going for so much money on eBay, I actually sold it off to buy trains with.
Oh my word! I
Why
always
with a scalper? Oh no!
Oh no, you're a gouger! No. But I must have.
Only once.
See, regardless of how much something is worth, I'm always loath to sell it because I think I bought it for a reason. So downstairs in my booze cabinet, I've got a bottle of famous grouse liqueur from quite a while ago, and I believe it's actually really expensive to buy now. We didn't pay much for it. We bought 2 of them from the local corner shop that was having a clear out of the stock room. We drank one and it was really nice. And before we started on the second, I looked up. I thought, I need to find out where I can get some more. And that's when I found out how much it was worth. So we didn't open the second one because it turned out it was worth like a couple of £100 at the time.
Oh.
So we've still got that, but I don't know whether I'd want to sell it.
Yeah. Well, I sold Guy Haley the Plague War one and really regretted it. I bought it on eBay for £38, and then they started selling for £65, and I was really tempted to sell it, and I ended up selling it off for £55, and then postage on top. And then when I worked out how much money that I'd actually got after eBay fees and things, I think I got like £10, and I was like, I should have kept it. I really like that book.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not worth the aggro. But just like to interject and say, I Like Transport says Jenny's books available at allmousemedia.com. That's right, people. You can buy the finest science fiction that has ever been published in the form of Bringing Home the Stars and Twinkle Little Star by yours truly. Sorry, what? Apparently, I'm really modest. But yeah.
You're a good writer.
I am. Have you read my books?
Snippets of them.
Have
snippets
you?
Of them. I haven't had the time to sit down and fully read it, but
So
I've read a little bit.
So where'd you get them from?
I think they're. Where are they now? Is it the? Do you have a Kindle version available or something?
Yeah, there is a Kindle version.
Because I've got a Kindle, so it was on the Kindle or something. So.
Oh, grand. Yeah, I get out there. No, I thought you might have passed through Waterstones in Preston because I did a big book signing there quite a long time ago now. I didn't know whether they still had stock left over. They're getting quite tricky to get.
Digital, so...
Sorry?
This was digital, so on my Kindle.
Oh, grand. But
I am a bit of an Isaac Asimov and sort of all the sort of sci-fi stuff. So I've read a few Isaac Asimov ones. Which one was you may know of it, you may not know of it. You know where there's a wind that comes over the earth and then it just gets windier and windier and windier. I've forgotten what the name of the book is. But that was the story, basically.
I've not come across that, but there's a J.G. Ballard book about the earth flooding. And it's a bit like Waterworld in that respect, but it's just the earth gets hotter and hotter, the ice caps melt, so sea levels start to rise and rise and rise. And London just becomes mangrove swamps with just these buildings sticking out of this big swamp. I think it's called The Drowned World.
Right.
That's an interesting book. It's very sort of like it's not hard sci-fi. It's an interesting book. I wouldn't quite call it sci-fi really, but Hal Clement, Mission of Gravity. Have you read that one? That's an interesting book.
Not sure. I'm trying to remember now. Maybe, maybe not, because I'm currently stuck into the Gloomspite book by Black Library. So I've got all of that in my head at the moment.
Well,
Which is fantasy.
Matt Ovell says, I'm a slow reader. What's the best book to start on?
Jenny's.
The Cupboard Monkey is shouting through All Over the House, and that's the collected web comics. Somebody's there. Mark Wilson said the Dune books are great. I find they can actually be a little bit hard to get into at times. Although I found Dune Messiah was terrible to get into, and is it God Emperor of Dune? I just found that book to be atrocious. Maybe that's controversial, I don't know. But I found it incredibly homophobic and just like there was just I couldn't get into it. It was like Frank Herbert just went off on one with a huge, great big feature-length rant about the fact that he didn't like lesbians. So I'm sorry, but that's just what it was. Mark Wilson said, Jenny's Tangent channel needs to be launched. I'm really sorry. We were supposed to be talking model trains. There's people glazing over going, what happened? It was model shops a moment ago. But anyway, model shops. Lifestyle Unleashed says, can I ask a question off topic? You're probably less off topic than we were getting. Does anyone have any favourite model rail exhibitions upcoming? For me, I'm really looking forward to L-Form at the London Festival of Railway Modelling at Alexandra Palace. But I'm perhaps a little bit biased because I am a special guest of L-Form and I'm being interviewed in a panel event on both days. And I'm also there with the layout War of the Worlds from the Channel 5 TV series Great Model Railway Challenge. So yeah, all excitement all the way. I Like Transport says, trains now! We need 50 cc's of trains, stat. Andy 1962, Model Rail Scotland. That is actually one which I do really want to get to. James Pets, L-Form is splendid. I will be there with the MRC. Oh, great. Do come and say hello. I will be there all weekend. Wistaston Junction says it was great at Stafford Meet. Some good YouTubers. Yes, I saw the pictures, actually. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. I was triple booked, to be honest, because I was asked if I was going to go. Couldn't get there because I was working all weekend. But then I was also asked if I'd do the Settle Carlisle and go and visit DCC Concepts as well. I couldn't do that anyway. Mark Holt says, is it too cold in the loft today? No. The reason I'm down here is because we've got Alex Crompton on and we needed to use the equipment to be able to get a mystery guest in another city on. So this is Alex Crompton. On YouTube as Alex Faxton.
Alex Faxton.
Let's have a look. Don Cragen says, in US slang, pocket rocket has a couple of meanings. Small caliber pistol that is small enough to be placed in your front pocket, and petite vivacious. What does vivacious mean? I can't.
I think it means sort of like a bit excited, like but like
Bouncy.
Exciting but excitable.
Oh right, okay.
You know,
well, I was
like
told
keen, a bit between excited and keen, vivacious. You know.
Oh right. Well, I've been told, and I'm not down with the kids, you see, anymore. So I don't know whether in the UK, apparently, pocket rocket, the youth take it to mean they're sort of like naughty bits.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I've gone all coy now. It's like naughty bits. Naughty bits. Flymo Chairman 1 says, Don Crogan, a Saturday night special. All right, yeah, Saturday night special. That's quite an old term. I remember using that in the 80s. And it was sort of like detective novel slang.
Yeah, but in America, a Saturday night special for the Americans is a homemade gun.
Homemade? How do you home make a gun?
I don't know. How do you have a country that's full of them?
The inside of a bog roll.
3D printing. I can make the 3D printed gun.
Yeah, but will it not explode when you fire it?
Well, no, you can't make any bullets, can you? You can't get the cordite or the gunpowder or anything like that, so you can't do anything.
Gunpowder. News to everybody, gunpowder is actually really easy to make.
Do not, under any circumstances, teach your audience how to make gunpowder.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell people.
That's a definite YouTube red flag there.
Oh, I like this comment. David Watt says, as a cabbie, we can talk about 10 different topics in a 5-minute journey. Off topic is my area. I like that. Oh dear. Bob Patterson says, and hello to both you, Jennifer, and your pretty guest. Ooh. That's you, Alex. Right. I'm waiting for you to pull the thing. No, I don't want another one, but thank you. What I would, no, I'm not going to eat it. Get rid of it.
You're rubbing it in now. You see, if I was there, I could have had all them tarts.
Yeah. Well, see, oh no, you. Oh, she just knocked over the Coke. Look at that foamy head.
Oh, it's fizzed up now.
Zoe, stop it. God, you can't get the stuff. Look at the state. All the fizz has come out. Oh, you blooming cupboard monkey. Right. Yeah, if you'd have come on down, we'd have fed you with tarts, plied you with drink, and you could have got to see Weir Yard as well.
We are very generous in this.
No, I've missed out.
Yeah, although at the moment Weir Yard is actually a bit messy because I'm set up there. I've been filming a review. This will be hopefully Friday's review. Well, it's a bit more than a review. It's also a progress on the Loft layout because I'm building a signal box and it's a new kit that's been released in 00 from Pico. And actually, Pico sent me a couple of kits to review. So I was really excited. It's laser cut wood. And I've never built a laser cut wood kit before.
Oh, Emma has popped over from my channel to see you.
Hello, Emma. Emma Paynton says, hi, just popped over from Alex's channel. B&H Models in Lincoln is a great model shop. Let's see if we can find them on the list. B&H Models. So go to the B's, B and H Models.
Over to Wolfdale Studios as well because we've got a cinema room as well, full kitted out cinema room. So
a cinema? What? So like have you got like the sticky floor and everything?
No, we've got a solid American walnut floor. Which is sort of like semi-sprung with. Floorboards and semi-sprung, but we've got all the acoustic foam round and full of acoustic foam bass traps and a 100-inch projection screen.
So what is that where you are there now?
And we have a sofa by Saxon built in, where are they, Bolton or whatever.
Yeah, I know Saxon. They're just down the road from here.
We've got a nice big comfy sofa by Saxon Durham because it was quite funny. The sofa was about $3,500. So, because when we got it ordered, we actually bought it with a special leather designed for heavy commercial use. Because obviously,
so it's hard wearing.
It's a screening room sort of thing.
So where's this? Yeah. What, in your house?
Yeah, in the front, one of the front rooms. I live in a giant Victorian house, so.
Right, this sounds like it. When you say we, who's the we?
Me and my mum.
You and your mum.
In a 5-6 bedroom Victorian house.
Rattling around.
With a third of an acre back garden.
Wow.
And sheds everywhere.
So whereabouts? So you're in Blackpool itself, are you?
We're in Polton Le Files. That's where we are, which is the posh part
I was
of.
about to say that's the posh end. I remember going there when they were filming. They filmed an episode of Time Team by there. I don't suppose you ever went down to watch them film it, did you?
Oh no, I didn't see, but I did know about it. Yes, I did know about
Ah,
the.
well, you see, my sister was the producer. So we all got to go down and
Yeah.
got given a guided tour by Tony Robinson. Even got to eat in the chuck wagon and everything. Felt well
My
popular.
neighbour is we have doctors, then we have the judge a few doors up. So that's always funny because if there's any sort of illegal shenanigans goes on the street, police cars turn up within about 3 minutes because of the judge.
What sort of shenanigans do you get in your place?
Oh, we had a neighbour across the road in one of the bungalows because we have a few bungalows as well, and they just careered up the driveway one night, missing half a wheel with a flat tyre, and like jumped out of the Mercedes and then ran into the house and hid. And then, but the judge was walking down the road at the time. It was late night. So the judge came out, made a phone call, and then about three minutes later, there was like 4 police cars, police vans, and everything.
So they picked the
And
wrong.
then we went up to the house and we're going, excuse me. So we've obviously done something they shouldn't have done. It was their car and outside their house, but we sort of got it stuck. They had a flat tyre, so whether they hit the curb or something. And
Yeah,
but
yeah.
instead of stopping outside, they hid in. So, but yeah, it's definitely the posh area because we have Bentleys going past. A green Lamborghini lives around here. Bentley Bentayga, 4x4. We have helicopters landing because there's the Illawalla house, and then there's another big house as well, which is just around the corner. And they have a helicopter land every now and then. They don't own the helicopter, they rent it. As if they own it, they only get to rent the helicopter. So
I'm just looking down the comments. For everybody who's asking, Alex Faxton is the YouTube channel for Alex Crompton here. And Bob Patterson says, now talking local hobby shops, I must plug my newest supplier. God, suddenly a huge number of comments come in and knocked that off the top. My newest supplier, Little Train Shop. They are bricks and mortar plus online. Excellent. Catherine Norman asks, given the large shops in the UK discount, how do the little shops survive in the UK? Just interested to know. Well, I'm guessing everybody's roughly paying the same trade price. So it is possible for the smaller suppliers to discount. It's just whether or not they have the turnover of models to be able to make the money on the volume. Some of the
I can certainly speak for a Cura scale. We have just one set trade price and that's it.
So does that mean that when the likes of, say, for example, Rails come in, they're paying exactly the same trade price that you are, regardless?
As far as I'm aware, they're paying the same as us.
Right. So that means that theoretically you can price match Rails.
Yeah. Or anyone else.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to answer your question, Catherine, some of the smaller suppliers do discount as well. I guess in the UK, there's enough people who are into railway modelling as a hobby that it is a viable business. You can sell enough even at a discounted price to make a living. I mean, it's not the easiest market, I'm guessing, but compared to other countries, it's probably not the worst either.
Yeah.
Leslie Gilpin, there is an element of that as well. They blooming cupboard monkey, stop it.
Hi.
So what are you doing? What are you looking?
I'm looking for a game to play.
You're looking for a game. Well, I'd suggest Rule of Rose, just so you
No.
could be smug in the back bedroom.
I don't want to play Rule of Rose today. I want to play something else.
Catherine Norman, yeah, that's about the shape of it. It's kind of like the supermarket model. Stack them high, sell them cheap, and you get plenty out the door, and you make your money on the volume rather than the margin. You'll say in Australia, rents are high on premises. They are a bit in this country as well. especially if you have a high street presence, it is very expensive. And that's where I guess the likes of Hatton's, one of the reasons that they got rid of the Smithdown Road shop was because it was actually cheaper for them to run from their warehouse. Stop it! To run from their warehouse because it was out of town and a lot cheaper than it was to pay the actual rates on the shop where they were.
You need a hand?
No, stop it! God, you can't get the staff. Andy 1962 says shops like Harbour and Hobbies discount to club members also have promo days for Hornby and Backman. Yeah, there's is it Ian Oakes in somewhere in Birmingham? Let's see if we can find him. There is a shop down in Birmingham. No, let's have a look. Ian Oakes. Somebody Oakes. Somebody help me out here. Somebody Oakes.
Ooh.
Oh, somebody will suggest, but there's Catherine Norman says we tried club discounts, but it caused jealousy amongst other companies, so we now charge the same to everyone. Yeah, it can be difficult, I guess. It can be. Paul Harrison, the Hatton's shop is now even smaller. I went in the other week and the ground floor shop was only about a third of the floor space now. Oh gosh, I know that in Hatton's, one of the things is why I said before that since they moved from Smithdown Road, it is tricky because an awful lot of their range is not even on display. You have to kind of know it, that they have it and order it at the trade counter. It's kind of like the Argos approach.
Yeah, or if you've ever been to a computer shop, scan computers.
Yeah.
You go in having already known what you want.
Yeah, which, if you want to browse, is a bit of a pain.
On their website, basically.
Yeah, A. Oakes, here we are, yes. Somebody, Paul Harrison, you're absolutely right. A. Oakes Limited, Oak End House, 174 to 180 Vicarage Road, Oldbury, Worley, West Midlands. Open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5:30. Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 12:30. And they quite often have like promotional events where they have stuff at a really cheap price, but only for walk-in customers. And that's it. I have seen them advertise that quite a lot.
Keep an eye on the watches, Jenny. I've just shared your live stream on the HO Scale Model Railroading group, so hopefully we might get some more people popping in.
I'm just curious, actually. We've got 127 people watching at the moment. So let me just 5 dislikes. Who are the people who rock up and just vote stuff down? I've never understood that.
Yeah, I get that on my channel. I always get one person. It must be one person because I always get one dislike whenever I upload a video. About 5 minutes later, I get one dislike. It's like, who's subscribed? Who does that? Like they're waiting. They must be like one of my biggest fans.
I actually know that I get at least a couple on every video, and I know who 2 of those people are. Because I am living rent free in the head of 2 people, and that's the way I look at it, is that they're so like, oh, I must go and vote down the latest Jenny video, and it's like it must like eat them up inside to have that much hatred towards a random person.
That is so crazy. Oh, we've got 134. It's gone up a little bit.
Yay! So Mark Wilson asks, Jenny, are you linking up with Ken Patterson? I really do need to, actually. Probably at some point soon. I do need to get on top of that. It's due to me being at work when he films the What's Neat This Week podcast, but I do really want to get on that, and he does want to get me on. Ben Manwan, you are very kind. You deserve positive feedback only. And Leslie Gilpin says, a dislike is a badge of honour on YouTube, isn't it? Yeah. And to be honest, the algorithm is such that all that YouTube is actually registering is an interaction. So whether you vote up or down, it has the same effect statistically. So actually, the people I'm living rent-free in the head of...
People coming and clicking on stuff is
Yeah.
actually sending the algorithm up, not down. The act of, like, especially if they do it at the moment you release a video, it's actually giving the algorithm more, because it's like, oh, this person really likes it.
Yeah.
It goes straight away.
And they interacted with it. And that's the thing I keep saying to people, that the likes and dislikes is almost meaningless, because all it is both buttons have the same effect on the algorithm.
Yeah.
But Leslie Dickinson, you're absolutely right. It's very easy for some sad folk to be negative. Yeah, there was somebody posting on one of the Facebook groups, and they were basically jealous of the people who do a lot of stuff on YouTube. And it was clearly, it was in response to a post about Intercity 82 coming back. But they were slagging off, whilst they didn't mention any names, the fact that they were posting this in a post about, oh, IC82's back, and saying, like, oh, they're just chasing fame and they've got no real modelling skills. And it's like the jealousy, that the barely disguised jealousy from some of these people. And actually, one of the people who was banging on about this, like, oh, they're just chasing views, just chasing popularity, want to be famous for the sake of it, and they're not real modelers. One of them is one of the people who I live rent-free in the head of. They're one of the people who votes down all my videos.
Oh, man.
Mark Wilson, Jenny, it's Ken Patterson. Go get a GoFundMe page started so you can take a day off. I really do need to. I know. But yeah, we did get Ken Patterson on the phone a little while ago. But yeah, Warrington Train Spotter. Ignore the haters, Jenny. I enjoy this channel. Always look forward to the Monday chat. Thank you very, very much. McBenman1, I hope you get 1 million subscribers one day.
1 million subscribers.
1 million. Why have
Casey Malstat says that the first million is the hardest. He says that the first 100 subscribers was the hardest, and the second is the first 1,000, and then the third hardest is because it gets easier. The more subscribers you get, the easier it gets.
Well, it's an exponential growth.
1,000 is the hardest to get. Once you get 1,000, you seem to go up suddenly, you know.
Yes. Why have 1 billion when you can have 1 million? Sorry, I just had to get that in there. But yeah, it's absolutely true. Because it's an exponential growth, it's easier to get noticed if you've already been noticed. Timbersurf says, I want lots of views and subs, but absolutely don't want to be famous. Well, you could do what, I forget, is something Mouldy Raspberry does with the Yorkshire Dales Model Railway. And he never appears in shot. In fact, I'm not sure that he ever actually speaks on the videos either. But he's very famous. Mark Holt asks, how much would someone with 1 million... I always keep, whenever I see 1 million, it's like, 1 million.
I know how much 1 million views generates. It's about, 1 million views generates between about £1,000 to £4,000 usually. If you cover finance topics, there's a guy who covers finance, then you sort of get about 8,000, because if you put like credit cards and trading apps on,
I reckon, about 3,500 to 4,000 per million views, I guess. McBenman1 says, can you give me a shout out? Yeah, no worries. A big shout out to McBenman1. If you've got a channel, a YouTube channel, do let us know. Mark Wilson, Jenny, get a cute pet. It will increase the viewers. Zoe, can you be a cute pet? Right, hold on. Right, cute pet. Headphones. I can't reach the cuddly toy. So, yes, Mark Holt, Mouldy Raspberry. The person appeared on New Junction's channel the other day. Yes. James Pets, get a cat. That'd be adorable. I do have a cat. The trouble with cats is they do their own thing. They're like, what? It's like, what? You want me to come on this video with you? I'm busy. Oh. This is Teddy. So I don't know if people see Teddy.
Hi, Teddy.
Now, Teddy has a particular story. Teddy
Ooh.
is approximately the same age as me. Now, the reason for this, and he said,
Aw.
he needs, stop it. He needs to go, smells a bit fusty, actually. Now, Teddy was bought at Strensham Services northbound, the old one on the M5, in 1979 in the March, by my grandmother when they were on that. You stop it. When they were on their way to visit me being born in hospital. So there is a photograph of little Jenny in a hospital bed with this pretty much like nearly as big as me. And little Teddy here has been with me ever since, and he's had open head surgery a number of times. So on the back, I don't know whether you can see the seam. He's been sewn up there. He's had his head sewn on a few times, and I believe that limb that has been sewn back on. And no, I think his legs are still attached as per they should be.
He's never been legless.
Never been legless, but effectively, Teddy here has been loved to death. He's full of that foam. Do you remember there used to be that big thing about that toxic foam in children's toys? Well, Teddy's full of it. If Teddy were to ever catch fire, no, Teddy, I'm not going to demonstrate. Don't you worry. Teddy would give off cyanide, apparently.
Nice. Tasty.
But that's...
I've got a Stife replica Teddy that I'll have to show you now. I'll have to just bear with me. I actually got a special Stife one, which I'll just show you here. Here we go. Here's the special Stife Teddy. Ooh.
See, Teddy doesn't make... I'm feeling actually to see whether Teddy may have once had a thing that made a noise, but there's nothing inside him.
Does Teddy have a clown horn?
Apparently Teddy does have a clown horn, but...
Does Jenny have a clown horn?
Yeah. Adams Rower says, properly laughing at the thought of toxic Ted. Yeah. Catherine Norman says, toys were toxic in the old days. No health and safety back then. Yeah, I mean, Teddy is full of... it's the same foam that they used to... Oh, with the kitty... Cupboard monkey, go get my kitty ears. They're in the drawer.
Oops.
Bedside table drawer. Yeah. It's all right. I'm not going to be outdone. I'm going to... Oh, okay. You're bringing out the blooming Pratt in me now. I've got kitty ears. Hold on, wait. Does Teddy drive a train?
Kitty ears.
I don't. What it is the thing about people like us and kitty ears. They used to stuff sofas with the same material, and that was the big thing. Was that here we are. The thing was that in house fires, sofas used to go up like a gigantic torch. Does that look all right? I can't see in that little picture.
You look daft.
There
you
we
always
go.
look daft, so don't worry about it.
Can you see? There we go. Kitty ears, I'll go.
Hello.
Stop it. Right. Anyway, Ian Turvey. Always look on the bright side of life. You have loads of people that like you more than those who don't. Love the teddy bear. Still got mine somewhere. Yeah. James Pets, you have matching kitty ears. Actually, are yours the same as mine?
I think so.
No, I think mine are different.
Oh no, yours are different.
These are old kitty ears. These are from when I was at university.
Oh wow.
These are like from the 1990s.
These are from Home Bargains last year for £1.
A quid?
£1?
Robert Scott Wiven Model Railway. My mum knitted me a tortoise. I think it was stuffed with old stockings. I miss him. Actually, old stockings. They'd be a bit weird because they'd have a weird texture. I don't know. Darren McHugh. Hello from Lancashire Mining Museum and Lee Model Railway Society. Yes, I did mention the exhibition earlier on. Are you and Cupboard Monkey available on Wednesday, the 4th of March? I'm technically at work. Depends what it's for. I might be able to wrangle some time off. But it would depend on what you had in mind. But I have actually bought. I believe you did the special commission O-gauge wagons from Daypol. I do actually have one of those. I bought it at the Lee Model Railway Show. Adams Railway. I'm sure that would make a cracking book. Maybe not very child friendly. Is that what? Toxic Teddy. Catherine Norman says, "Oh, I'm jealous. I haven't got any kitty ears." Oh. James Pett says, "Gosh, the 1990s. I remember the 1990s." So do I, actually. I just remember that there was no real internet and toy trains were a bit pants. Adams Railway says, "I'll probably lose it if you say those old kitty ears are made from asbestos." Well, yeah, they're flame-proof, don't you know? Warrington Train Spotter says, "Anybody tuning in, we do normally talk about model trains." Honest, yeah. Mark Wilson says, "Jenny gone off topic. Shock horror. That's why we tune in." Andy 1962 says, "We've gone off piste, or have I been drinking too much beer?" Actually, I'm drinking Diet Coke. I still haven't quite come off dry January, so I'm on the Diet Coke.
You had a rum and coke last night.
Oh, apparently, no, I had a brandy and Coke last night. Flymo Chairman 1 says, "Another wild and wacky adventure for Knob T Mouse. Toxic Ted." Yeah, we should have Toxic Ted in. Maybe he just eats beans or something. Toxic Ted and the mystery of the big beans. The fragrant friends. Oh dear. Jamie Smith, "That's equal to eating 70 apples as the pip seed have cyanide in them. You heard it here first." Yes, which is why if you eat an apple seed and crunch on it, it tastes ever so slightly like Battenberg. And that's because that's what cyanide tastes of, is almonds. Which is what, Battenberg has got the marzipan in. Adams Railway. Flymo Chairman 1, "I blame the gin." Oh, gin. I'll have one of them. Mark Wilson says, "It's after 9. Who cares?" Well, it's after 9 somewhere, isn't it? But yeah, notionally, we were talking about model shops. I think we've dropped all pretense of talking about trains now, haven't we? But Alex, so what stock do you currently have in from a Cura scale?
Well, we have the PFA wagons, the PFA container wagons here, and we have a lot of Carwoods ones, which are the yellow coal ones.
So are these four-wheel container wagons, and they have cut-down containers that are used for carrying coal?
Yes.
And
then,
when would they be from?
I think they're sort of modern image. I do actually have the details of them here. Let me just...
one of the things I do really like about a Cura scale is that they do have a very detailed history of the wagons on a kind of a cheat sheet. I'm very much aware. I'm getting you to open up some of your stock here.
Yeah, we'll bust it open. Take one for the team, because they now come in bags, but they originally didn't actually come in bags. And if we pop this one open and take a look inside, inside we have an amazing. This is a white British gypsum one.
Right, so they're ISO containers on four-wheel container flats, basically. So what are they? Are they KFAs or PFAs?
PFA container flats.
Because I'm trying to think. So a P, it means it's a private owner wagon, is what the P is, isn't it? Because if it was an ordinary flat wagon, a container wagon, it would have an F code.
Yeah.
So who actually owns them? Why have they got a P code and not an F code?
I'm not sure. Well, these are owned by, these were bought out by British Gypsum, but I'll get the history in a second. So there we go. There's the good stuff.
They do look nice. So you can run them either with or without the containers on.
Yeah, the containers are separate. So if we take a look at one of them, there we go. There's the container. Ooh. And the markings are amazing. Like if you look at in here, that's actually recessed, and they managed to print in the recess quite well.
Yeah.
They're doing really well to do that. And then if we take a look at the actual flat wagon, now these have got a die-cast metal frame. That's actually metal there. So that's actually proper metal.
Yeah, I'm just going to make you bigger on the screen. There we are, so we can then see. Let me just.
So there we go. That's the container there. And actually, they have. If you look ever so slightly, can you see the light coming through on the forklift pockets?
Oh yes, yes.
So if you have a forklift pocket, so if you have a forklift truck for that, you can actually pick them up with your model, you know what I mean, and have it modelled them being picked up. So that's it actually on the flat car.
So it doesn't slide off or anything, it kind of clips in place, does it?
Yeah, and then the flat car actually has that. Can you see there's a little
black
frame? Yeah, there's a little black frame like that. So you have the container, then this little black frame.
Right, okay.
And then the flat car itself. And then that all just stacks on top and it just sits there. So nothing's actually glued on or attached, but it just sits there really nicely. And it's all secure, so it won't fall off or anything.
Yeah. So they are quite nice, actually. Does it say in your little cheat sheet that was in the box with them? Was there a cheat sheet in the box?
I'm going to just pop open the sheet now and we'll take a look.
I'm always very curious what period they're suitable for, because I kind of, with my modelling, by the sort of late 80s, very early 90s, I kind of start to lose interest in modern image stuff.
In late 1986,
coal
merchants car ones began taking delivery of a fleet of small two-axle flat wagons from the Standard Railway Wagon Company, which would eventually total some 172 vehicles, assigned the design code PFO 12A and given the designation PFA under the British Rail Total Operations Processing System.
Right. So actually, I'm looking. So 1986 in Kaywood's coal traffic livery. That's actually straight in the period that I model. Who'd have believed it?
So if you want the coal ones, I can send you over a pack of the coal ones if you like.
That's just tempting. Although I like the PCA ones. The rugby cement ones are in short supply. But what were the other ones? Is it Castle cement?
Well, no, the Castle cement, there's 5 left. But if you want a Castle cement, I will send you a Castle cement.
No.
Anyone you want, because there's more coming. They're just like, they're all dying of flu in China at the moment. So
I'm just wondering what period. So what period would the PCAs have? It's the rugby cement. Is it rugby cement?
Rugby cement. Yeah, I've got some rugby cement. If you're interested in rugby cement, we've got STS cement, rugby cement.
I'm just wondering what period they were actually from.
So if I take a look at the rugby cement ones.
And just like Catherine Norman has had to go off to work, so very nice chatting with you, Catherine. Really great to see you, and hopefully perhaps see you next time.
Here we go. Here's the rugby cement. You get a little bag of bits.
Are they just like buffer beam detail? Because I think they
look like air connectors.
Yeah, the PCV wagons, which are the Chemflow cement wagons, they also had them as well. And they're a really nice wagon. If you've seen the Chemflow vacuum braked cement hoppers
I've
as well.
got some of them as well in stock. But if we take a look at the rugby cement ones, ooh.
Just seeing in the comments, just very quickly, Darren McHugh, Jenny, Lancashire Mining Museum are having an invite-only commissioning of our 2-foot gauge passenger railway, and we would like to invite you both to attend. It will be an 11 a.m. start. Would it be possible for you to send me a message with that, and then I will see if I can get some time off work. If you drop me a message through Facebook, would probably be the easiest way to do it, just so I've got a record. But yeah, I'd love to try and come. It all depends if I can get the time off work.
There's the rugby cement for you.
They do look quite nice, actually.
1982 to 1983.
Really? So actually, they're well within the period that I model.
Yeah, the rugby cement ones on lease to rugby cement. So Castle Cement is 2009.
Oh, right. So Castle Cement is actually quite late.
Yeah. 15 examples were initially hired by Rugby Cement. So that's good, yeah. And it says blah, 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 late 1985. So 1982, 1985, it says here, that's the Rugby Cement, so that's the era.
So New Mills Model Railway asks, what price are these?
These ones at the moment, let me just check my website.
They come in a 3-pack, don't they?
Come in a 3-pack, and I believe I'm selling these at a slight discount at the moment. Rugby Cement is at $64.99 on Baxley.com.
Yeah, no. So that's New Mills Model Railway. So that's the price that they're going for. And if you want to check out at www.faxley.com. I'll just type that in the comments bar. See if we can. So that should be. Just put that up. That should be a clickable link. But yeah, Paul Harrison said STS Grey PCAs introduced 1982 to 83. Mark Wilson, good night to you. It's been great to have you aboard. Andy 1962 as well. Good night to you. We've got an early start tomorrow, but 5:30 a.m. Ouch. But look, you take care. Let's have a look. Emma Payton has a YouTube channel and ready to sleep. Good night. Good night to you too. Do you want to plug your YouTube channel as well? Yeah, absolutely fine for you to plug that if you want to let everybody know what your YouTube channel is as well. But so how many of the Rugby Cement ones do you actually have in stock? Do you have quite a few of those?
I've got just a couple of them, but I can order them in very quickly. I can get them within a day or two. Lots and lots within a day or two.
Right, so are they coming in that container that's...
No, these are in stock. These are in stock at a Curascale, which is why I'm selling them at £5 less than what a Curascale sell them for. Right. So I'm undercutting a Curascale at the moment.
Right. So if anybody in the chat is interested in these, then I've just posted up the website address for Alex's shop. But yeah, they do look quite nice. So what different versions of the PCAs have a Curascale brought out?
Right, we've got Rugby Cement, Grey STS, and the Castle Cement as well.
So the Grey STS, they would be early as well, would they? Would they be about early 80s as well?
Yeah, I think so, according to what it say on here. Rugby Cement, Grey STS, it says Rugby Cement, and then the STS one, Harrison Cement 2009, Castle Cement 2019, Rugby Cement, STS parent acquired by VTG ownership. So that's the grey STS ones, but I'm not sure. It may be 2002, the grey one.
Right.
The green ones may. I need someone really who knows like the cement wagon history, because this is telling me the history of it. So rugby cement looks like the first, and then you get the blue circle cement and blah 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 blah. And then so here we go. In 1985, SDS ordered a further batch of 15 from another French manufacturer, receiving the design code PCO17C. Replace the examples on rugby cement workings. So yeah, it's definitely the rugby cement. But then it says that they were off lease in the early 1990s. And then they re-entered in 1996 as Castle Cement. And then, so like I say, with the grey ones, I'm just trying to place the grey ones. I think they're from 2002.
Oh, right, so they'd be quite late.
As far as I'm aware, the grey ones are from 2002 and beyond.
Right, so it'd be a different grey. Paul Harrison said STS from 1982 onwards until some hired to rugby. So I'm suspecting that there's two different versions of the STS livery. There's the later batch and there's the early batch, and they may be the later ones. Yeah. Interesting.
If you fancy the rugby cement, have a think.
Yeah, the rugby cement actually do look quite nice. I'm quite surprised that how early they are. In my head, I had them down as being sort of like 1990s. But actually,
well, I was thinking of the Castle Cement. I think what the Castle Cement ones. So them in my head are obviously, later on, and that's where I've got it in my head of them being later on. But it does surprise me, because I thought that the grey ones, just the plain grey ones, were actually the first ones, and then they became like rugby and Castle Cement. And it's actually the rugby cement first, surprisingly.
I mean, that's the thing with air braked wagons. There's a lot of air brake wagons. I just don't know anything much about them, because a lot of my interest is like the vacuum braked wagons from the 1970s, 1960s, and a lot of the steam era stock that lasted until, in some cases, into the early 1980s. So the air brake wagons, aside from things like the VAA to VDA vans and the OAA through to the OCA opens, I don't actually know an awful lot about them.
Right. I can do some more research and let you know. So which one is, because I get the special access to the Euroscale info. So which one was it again that you're after?
I quite like the rugby cement, to be honest with you.
Rugby cement. So if you want some info on the rugby cement, what do Euroscale tell me about that?
David, what?
Okay. I've got two different wagon numbers in stock, so let me grab out the other rugby cement one. Let's take a look and see if we can find the other rugby cement. Here we go. Right. So,
so are these different liveries or just different running numbers?
Yeah, so there's different numbers. So they're exactly the same. They look almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
They're just different running numbers. So
I know they did with the HUO wagons. They had about 6 different sets with different running numbers, and some were tops and some were pre-tops.
So the numbers that I've got are 740. This pack F has 74030, starting at 74030, 74032, 74004, and the other pack has 74031, 74035, and 74039. So I don't know if there's any like lucky number that you have.
No lucky numbers. If it's the same livery in the same period, yeah, that's fine.
So either one.
Sorry?
Either one. I can send off either one.
Are you absolutely all right with that? Because that is incredibly
no
kind.
problem, because I'm buying them at trade prices, so it's not. It doesn't cost me £70 to send it you. But I'm on a non-disclosure agreement with the Curascale. I can't. I'm not allowed to tell you.
Yeah, don't worry. I completely understand. And in the Curascale range, I know some people are saying, "Oh, they're way too modern." The earlier wagons that they do, they're things like the Chemflow, the PCV, and the HUO hoppers. Are they ones that you have in stock as well? If people are looking for earlier wagons.
I do have them in stock. I've got at the moment, but like I say, I can order more in, no problem. But at the moment, I've got the PCM Chemflow wagons in. PCV powder wagon.
Yes.
Is what I've got. And I've got Pack H and Pack I in stock, which is like they're like silver. They're the silvery ones.
I did a full-on review of those a couple of months ago, and they're actually, in terms of details, are actually they're the best wagons I've seen. I actually rate the PCVs as being just the best of anything that I've seen from any manufacturer. The closer you look at them, the better the detail gets. And you're looking actually into the chassis, and there's like another level of detail behind the cutaways at the front, and it is just amazing to watch.
But everyone is after the low level nuclear waste containers. They're the ones that are selling out like crazy. So if that's something that you're interested in, I could send you one of them. It's entirely up to you. But they're DRS, so they're a lot more modern.
Yeah, it's something that I don't want to impose too much, but certainly
if you want a low level nuclear waste one, I will send it you.
I'll be honest with you, it's not something that I'd ever really run. I mean, obviously I'd review it.
No, the only reason why I mentioned it is they're the ones that sell out all the time.
So
they're the ones everyone's after.
So if there's anybody in the chat room who's after them, then you still have some in stock.
I've got 21 Pack O coming in and 21 Pack N coming in.
Right.
Of the new low-level nuclear waste containers.
No worries. I'm just gonna just looking in the comments. SF Ratton, New Zealand. Bye all. See you later. Look, it's been great having you in the chat. Always great to see you in, and hopefully we'll be seeing you again next time. I like transport. Says, can you send me the nuclear waste one? Winky face. Yeah, if you send what is it, like £65 or £70 the other way, then you can have whichever one you want. But if you go to...
He's going to make a profit here, you know?
Yeah,
she's going to get a free pack and then be like, whoa.
But www.
All you have to do is hold it for a month. Hold it for a month and you can sell it for £120 because they'll all be out of stock.
No, I'll send it back to you and then you can sell it at a premium when everybody's clamouring for them. Jamie Smith says, yes, I've just looked. I'll bookmark you, Alex, for future. Brilliant. Ooh. So hopefully, I think you've seen with retail, one of the biggest hurdles is often people knowing that you're there. And it's the same with new products. It's one of the reasons that I've been working with people like a Curascale is that, getting the word out there. It's not enough sometimes to have the best product on the market if people don't know about it. And, it's... I must admit, and this time last year, I hadn't really heard of a Curascale. But I
got a trade account with them sort of about June last year, and it was almost like a bit of a disaster because it was like, the ones you reviewed, the tops pre-tops ones, the HUO tops pre-tops.
Yes.
And it was like, if you want these, we've got loads. Limited to a limited run of 250, and then we've got nothing else. No other products.
What was
You know,
was that the first one that they brought to market?
the first one they brought out, yeah. Yeah, so it was really different. And then obviously everything was then inbound on top,
Yes.
you know. Everything was
But see, I
inbound.
mean,
So,
the more I
yeah.
look at those HUO hoppers, I really like them. They've become some of my favourite wagons because they're that little bit different. You know, you get so used to the
Well,
Bachmann
I've got
six.
some of them as well, so if you're interested in them,
I've already
I've
done
got
some
some.
reviews, so it'd be a bit naughty of me to get more because I've already done the review, so I wouldn't be doing another review. Um, but what surprised me was that the review went down incredibly well. And normally on YouTube, when you review wagons, it can be difficult to gain traction. People kind of want to see the big ticket things like locomotives in the
Yeah.
main. So sometimes it's very tricky to get an audience for wagon review videos. But the Acura scale ones actually got more views than
Yeah.
some of the locomotive review videos because it was such a different new product. Although I've just done the O gauge version and that's struggling a bit. And I think because O gauge is a bit more niche, it is
Mm.
tricky. And
Well, it's strange. All my low-level nuclear waste container ones sold out, and I made a review on them. I held back one packet to do a review, but the review of the actual review, which features the DRS Class 37 locomotive, the Batman one though, is it's only had 248 views, and that was it. But they've sold out. It's a really good selling product, but a really like low view video.
yeah, I mean, I think sometimes there's some products just sell themselves. It's like there's such
Yeah.
a vacuum in the market for them that as soon as the product appears, people are buying. They don't want to know any more about them. It's like I already know I want this product, sort of thing. But you know, I've had a few where I did a review on the Hatton's P class in SECR grey, and actually sold it out. And when I was talking to Hattons about it, they said that when they brought out the models, they thought that the really ornate Southeastern and Chatham Railway livery would be the one that would be really popular. So they did two different running numbers of that. And the SECR Austerity Grey was an afterthought. But I did a review video on it and it sold out. And it's the only one to sell out. And it's almost like, you know, even though that video's only had a few thousand views, it's like people had already decided that that was the livery that they really wanted.
Right.
Which just goes to show sometimes you can't predict what the super sellers are going to be.
No. I've just had someone say that they've gone to the site, but it's we use a PayPal cart, so you don't have to actually create an account on the site. You can just go in and add it to the cart, and it's all through PayPal, so it's the most secure cart system out there because the whole thing, the website is literally just links to the PayPal cart. So everything's super duper safe, but if you just press add to cart, and then you can buy it that easy through PayPal.
So it's a bit like buying something through, say, well, actually, no, on eBay, you still.
I am on eBay as well, yeah.
So if people want to buy through eBay for whatever reason, would they just search for Faxley models or just
Faxley? If you just search for Faxley, yeah, that's our eBay.
Like I like transport. Oh, honestly, everyone hit the like and not the dislike. Why? What's it's still saying 5 dislikes and 95 likes. But yeah, if you're watching, do remember to hit the like button. If you've already hit the like button, don't hit it again because that just takes your like off. If you've not subscribed to the channel, then do remember to subscribe. Mark Holt says, as a famous YouTuber, are you like Kate Middleton? You can only use the same outfit a year after it was last seen. I don't know it.
I'm like that. I have to keep buying loads of clothes.
I must admit that whenever I get dressed up to do a video, well, you know, get up in the morning and put clothes on, I always have to quickly check what my previous few videos, what I was wearing, so I don't accidentally end up wearing the same outfit on every single video. And what people might notice is that they'll see me in the same outfit over several weeks in my videos, but what they don't realise is that they were all filmed on the same day. But I don't
just change clothes.
I keep thinking I should.
I do the same. I do the same.
But you know, sometimes it's when you're in the zone, you just set up and you film them back to back. Somebody says seven dislikes, 106 likes. So it's a bit. Let me just rebooterize it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh well. Like I said, I'm living rent-free in somebody's head. But, right, anyway, I'm looking to the time. We're going to start winding down now. So we've had really, a great chat, actually. And a big thank you to Alex Crompton coming on with Faxley.com. Alex Faxton on YouTube. Oh, you've got your cheat sheet. So if you want to pick up the latest Acura scale models, head on over to the www.faxley.com. And basically, I'm starting to lose puff. I was really ill last week, and I'm still not fully over it. James Pett says, I enjoyed the cat's ears. Well, we're both wearing cat's ears. So there we are. There's me on screen now. Lots of little kitty ears. And I'm feeling stupid. These are from my university goth days. Back when I'd wander around pretending to be a kitty. There used to be people who'd actually have a clip-on tail as well. I never went that far. I never did the clip-on tail. But shut up, cupboard monkey. Get back in the box. Back in the box. But anyway, it's been really great seeing everybody on. So I'm going to round up now, and hopefully we'll see you all next time. Big thank you to Alex Crompton as well. And David Watt says, I was on the fence with the Robinson 04, but you managed to sell me one. I'm really glad of that, because actually the Robinson 04 is one of my favourite locomotives. Don Cragen says, Jenny and Alex, thanks for a great discussion. Well, thank you for tuning in. Goodbye to everybody. Good night. Take care. Anybody in Australia, do be careful out there with all those fires. We are thinking about you. And until next Monday, this is me, Jenny Kirk. Sorry, what's that, cupboard monkey? Get back. Oh, and the floods in New Zealand as well. So look, do take care. One more look at Toxic Ted. So there we are. There's Toxic Ted. Toxic Ted. Right, anyway, that's weird. I've got the same picture but on a 3-second delay down here, and it's weird. I just put Teddy down and looked over, and Teddy's still on the screen.
That's the sort of nightclubbers.
Yeah, but actually, it's one of the things I used to wear these for. Gosh, I used to be with it once. Anyway, you're absolutely welcome, Alex. Always great to have new guests.
Well, I would have sent you the cement wagon anyway, completely regardless of any of this plugin.
Look, that is really kind of you. Look, thank you very much.
You've earned it so well that when the locomotives turn up, you're definitely getting a locomotive. So
you don't have to, but look, thank you very much. That is an incredibly kind offer.
DCC ready. You have to do a bit more plugging for the sound. That's mega money.
Well, I get my sponsor is Trainzomatic, who make DCC
so if you
decoders.
get you the free DCC ready, then you can put your Trainzomatic in it.
I don't get. They don't do sound chips, or at least they've not sent me any to do to use. But I get the actual decoders to use, and the smart power packs, which are actually really good. It's amazing. I put some in a locomotive, and it'll run for 4 seconds when you take it off the track. And it's quite magic to watch. You can actually pick up a locomotive, put it on a flat surface, and it just chugs on for 4 seconds. It's really quite peculiar. I Like Transport says, give all mods wagons, Jenny locos. No, that's not how you make a business work. But no, if you want any of the newer Curascale range,
I don't get them that cheap.
But look, anyway, take great care, everybody. And this is me, Jenny Kirk, and my special guest, Alex Crompton, saying, you take really good care, and bye for now.